Now if you come on down to Highbury, you can see Thierry Henry. He is the best player you will ever see. Thierry Henry. Now if you come on down to Highbury.
Welcome to From Dial Square to Where, the transfer window closing special. And we're going to have a few guests on tonight, but at the moment we've got Steve. How are you, Steve?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Doing all right.
Great to have you on. Great to have you on. It's good to see
Great
you
to be
again. It's been a while. And James, nice to see you again, mate. How are you?
Yeah, it's good to speak with you again after our encounter about half hour ago. Yeah, it's always good to speak to you, Andrew. Thank you for the platform, my friend.
No worries at all. Well, now it's the final countdown to the window closing.
Have you got clearance?
No, I haven't. I don't care about all that sort of stuff. They can close me down. But lots of things have been happening. Not a lot of the things that we want to have been happening, but there's loads of stuff to talk about. And I will close it down now because I don't want to get shut down.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I mean it's all happening really at the moment. In regards to the outgoings, I think we've got about 6 players left. So we've got Doris the Tea Lady starting on the right wing in the next game against Wolves. Per Mertesacker is coming out of retirement, and then Mikel Arteta is dusting off his boots as we speak over in Dubai and talking to Jack Wilshere about coming back on a 6-month loan deal. But yeah, it's big news really in the last hour or so, isn't it? About Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who has left the club on a permanent deal to Barca. So that's a big one. I mean, I'll come to you first, Steve. It seems to me like we haven't had the final sort of details about it, but it seems to me the contract's just literally been ripped up so that he could negotiate directly with Barcelona on his wages and everything. It seemed to earlier on in the day that news was that he was willing to sacrifice a lot of his salary in order to make the move happen. So he must have done something like that with Barcelona directly. So what are your thoughts about that, mate? He's played his last game for Arsenal, which is not overly surprising considering how the last couple of months have gone, but it's still a bit of a shock.
I think so. I mean, I think obviously he wasn't playing well. He got dropped out of the side for various reasons, disciplinary, and, there was no way back for him, was there? I mean, it all pretty much happened quite quickly. I mean, if, believe, I mean, he flew out to Spain, ahead of the game, didn't he?
Yeah.
To get things sorted out. Some people said that was a family holiday, but he didn't take his family and, all sorts of things. So you just, he's obviously wanted to go, and Barcelona, obviously put the deal in front of him, and Arsenal were prepared to tear up the contract and save the wages, and it's a done deal. So he's gone. It just means that, we just don't have that option again now. It looks like it's going to be Lacazette and Nketiah till the end of the season, unless something miraculous happens in the next 2.5 hours, which is unless there's been deals been working on, waiting for the Aubameyang to finalise what he's doing. But in my heart, I can't see anybody else coming in at this late stage, really. So it's a shame, really, because obviously Aubameyang was a great player from us, but his stats would suggest over the last couple of years since he signed the contract, he's just gone in one direction, which is downhill, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
so, there we are. Another chapter comes to an end.
Yeah, I mean, I said on Danny's show, the Bergkamp Wonderland, 3 of us were just on over the last hour, that I think his form sort of went downhill after his hairline started receding, a bit like Gervinho's. so I think that's got a lot to do with it. But welcome Stan as well. Before we sort of move on, nice to have you on board again, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's been a while since I've been on one of these with you, Andrew, hasn't it? It's been quite a while. And good afternoon to Steve and James. I just saw over on ABW where I've just come from. We're all like tag teaming in and out of these podcasts.
I was going to say, you're doing a circuit, aren't you?
Yeah. We are tonight. We are, yeah. No, but Danny's got a great show going on there it's been on for hours already. So, yeah, brilliant show. and it's good to be on there. But it's funny one really with Aubameyang, because in one hand it is sad the way things have worked out. The way that he was a good player. I think all the fan base actually liked him. Whilst he was banging in the goals and literally carrying the team. Let's face facts. A couple of years ago, he was carrying this team, and the way that it's ended is quite sad, really, isn't it, James?
Oh yeah. But it's like I said earlier, it's entirely this guy's fault.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, forever sad it is. One thing I will say is I respect the fact that he has ripped my contract up because I want to go. We've had players before that we've really had to fight to get them to go, but at least he had the decency to actually go, no, rip it up then and let me go now. Maybe because it's the fact that he's gone there and he looks incredibly stupid if he comes all the way back again.
I bet he's so relieved.
Yeah, I mean, Peter on the wing, he's upset because he's completely trumped him for, the fact he flew out to another country and they were like, what are you doing here? But no, he's managed to sort it, which is good for him, and he'll probably score goals out there. I remember years and years ago when Man United got rid of Diego Forlan, and they were like, "Oh God, I can't believe he's terrible," and then he smashed it for Atletico Madrid when he was over there. Yeah. So it just happens. There's times where players either don't fit into what you're doing or they outgrow the club that they're at, and that guy outgrew us. We outgrew him as well. And we need to move on now. And I'm praying for something in the next final. I mean, it screams of we're going to do another party and trigger the clause right at the end. And I don't think Sociedad will care, because I read today that they get an extra month extension if we do trigger it like at 23.59. So, and they'll be happy because they've probably got 75 odd million, 90 million euros, sorry, is the clause, isn't it? So
can a deal like that be done at that late stage though? Just literally,
you can literally do it a minute before, which is what we did because Atletico were messing us around so much, and we were like, well, we're going to pay the clause, and like, no, you're not, you're running out of time, and then just right at the end. It's a bit like when you're on eBay and someone's and you just go, have that, I'm getting it, not you.
Snipe a 90 million player. Yeah.
exactly. So. Yeah, I can see that. Like I said earlier, I'm deluded in that we will do something.
But is he the right man for us, though? Is he really
I don't know.
The right man?
I don't know enough about him to say that he is or not. And I'm not
long term. I think he will be.
Long term,
he will be. But right now, whether he's ready right now, it's up for debate. Definitely,
he has to be long term, Andrew. That's what 100%. People are saying loans and everything. You need to buy the guy that's going to lead Arsenal's line for the next 3 to 4 years. So you've got.
No, I think he's that good. I honestly think he's that good. But whether he's good enough to make an impact immediately, like a lot of the fans would jump on his back, because he's obviously another 70-odd million pound player like Pepe was. Fans ain't going to be, giving him that time, but he will need that time. I'm telling you now, he will need that time. But long term, he's just
come back off a massive injury as well, hasn't he?
Yeah. He fits. I mean, people have been going mad about his fact that he's only scored 4 goals this season, but he's not been playing as a number 9 this season. He's literally not been playing as a number 9 this season.
He's bought the car, hasn't he? He's bought the car and he's been driving around London, so he must be ready.
That made me fun. That made me laugh. I mean, honestly, seriously. But anyway, Stan, come over to you on it. I mean, he's totally brought this upon himself. I can't help but being a bit sad about it all. But one great thing is that it's not another Ozil situation. It's been handled straight away. First chance we've got, he's gone.
The thing is, when you have a player, no matter all of the good things that they may have done, once they leave under a cloud, that's your last memory. I mean, just look at Robin van Persie. You never see any clips on Twitter from an Arsenal fan saying, remember this goal? Because Robin van Persie was a fantastic player. He was a genuine, for me, world-class player who scored some fantastic goals, but he left under such a cloud. You never hardly hear him mentioned in a sentence when you're talking about past players that you remember or goals or anything like that. And it will probably end up being the same now for Aubameyang, And when we signed Aubameyang, we all heard the stories that he was unsettling the dressing room a little bit at Borussia Dortmund, and it was a worry of mine when I heard that. Thinking, we're not saddling ourselves with another bad egg. And he came in and he was all smiles, that smile that we all loved. But You know, he does seem, and I said this earlier on when I was on the Burkout Wonderland, he seems like one of those guys that when he gets pissed off, he probably just woke up one morning and said, you know what, I'm fucking done with this club. There's no going back. You know, probably drove to work, had the right hump, leaves every day on the dot at 5. He doesn't say anything to anybody around the water cooler. He doesn't want to be there. We've all known people at jobs that have done that. And I think he's gone through that cycle. You know, there are people we're talking about, is there a way that everyone can sit around the table and try and get him back again? That ship sailed a long time ago. And I think what happened was that they had a go at him again for coming back late, and it was probably on top of some other things that we don't know about. But I think what's happened there is after he had a dressing down, rather than saying, okay, I'll hold my hands up, yeah, you're right, I'm going to knuckle down, I think he told him to go fuck themselves. And that's why they stripped him of the captaincy, because he didn't respond to the dressing down. You know, he didn't respond in a way that they felt that there was going to be a future. He dug his heels in and was probably adamant about the way he felt he was being treated. And there's no coming back from that. Am I going to miss him? Not really. I've had better players at the club that I've missed, that have left, that I have fonder memories of. I'm glad for the service that he gave us. And I'm just looking forward now to a new dawn. But moving on to the Isak thing, for me, it's a very big gamble. And it worries me in the same way as the Thomas Pepe and how that happened worried me. He was a player that I never really heard of. We went out and spent a lot of money. I got wrapped up in the euphoria of this guy coming in and was spending all this money, and it just never really happened. And I'm worried that we could be taking a similar gamble with somebody like Isak. And it worries me that, are we at a stage of where we are trying to get into Europe that we can afford to make that sort of a gamble? What I would do if I was going to bring in someone like Isak, because as Andrew said, maybe long term he could be the future. Is he going to hit the ground running now? Are we going to give him enough chance to settle now? If I was going to bring in someone like an Isak, I would also go ahead and bring in somebody else to accompany him. And that somebody for me would be someone like Raul Jimenez from Wolves. He gets paid the same amount as Eddie Nketiah. He knows where the goal is. He's oven ready. He's someone that if you're bringing in young players from another league, he can show them this is what's expected in the Premier League. This is what's expected of how you conduct yourself around a Premier League club. And he can give those players like an Isak or a Jonathan David time to bed in, to settle in. He can carry the load. If you give him a 2-year contract, we could be looking at moving Jimenez on in about 1.5 seasons time, which would be a good bedding time. I would go for something like that.
Yeah, I mean, something like him, I'm a little bit worried that he's not quite will ever get back to his best after his injury. He's still a very good player. I'm not knocking him at all, but he's pushing 30. He's not really banging in the goals, is he, at the moment? But I get what you mean. Totally get what you mean. And I'm worried about the reception that Isak will get from the Arsenal fans if he has a bit of a settling in period because of the money that it will cost. And obviously, again, it's not going to be his fault that we go and pay that sort of money. I genuinely got a lot of belief that he will be an excellent player. Really, really good player. I think he's I've said this again. I'm sorry if people are watching the same, stream, but I said it on the Burkout Wonderland stream just in case you didn't watch it. But he's a very similar player to Thierry Henry. We're very young Thierry Henry, raw, plays out wide, likes to cut in, exactly the same way that Thierry did. He's got a lot of similar sort of type of attributes technically. He's good with his back to goal. So I've got no doubt that he will be an excellent player, but whether that will be this season, next season, I'm not so sure. It is a gamble.
If he comes in now and he likes to play wide, so who do you drop out the side currently?
Oh no, he drifts out wide naturally.
He's not a number 9, is he?
He can be. He can be a number 9. Is he? Yeah.
But
he was a number 9 last season. He's not been playing a number 9 this season. This is the problem. This is why he's not scored as many goals. But we would buy him as a number 9 to be playing central. Well, I've got absolutely no doubt about that because we've got loads of very good wide players.
If we're going to pay more for him now, we've got 17 games left to the end of the season. We're going to pay more for him if we go for him now than we would do in the summer, surely.
No, we won't. No, they still won't sell him for less than his release clause. He signed a new contract in 2026.
Is he our number 1 target? Do you think?
It's hard to say, isn't it, without being behind the scenes? Because obviously the number 1 target is now Juventus.
Well, if you believe the media, yeah, but was he our number one target?
Well, we
don't really know, do we? I think nobody really knows who our number one target is.
No.
And buying somebody now for 70 odd million to get us through the next 17 games into Europe, I don't know. It's a gamble, isn't it? It's a gamble either way. Because before we dropped Aubameyang, we suddenly went on a run of scoring 20 odd goals in 5 games, getting us into the top 4, playing without really a striker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do that for the rest of the season.
Absolutely, and
I mean, City don't do too bad without a recognised striker, do they?
Yeah, but they've got much better players than we have.
Yeah, but we've got a really strong young forward line, haven't we? Without the striker, I mean, Lacazette can do a job, but I don't know. I'm not convinced spending that sort of money right now is the answer, but I might be wrong.
I mean, honestly, if I'm not completely honest, I'm not
absolutely desperate.
Whatever
one we're going to buy, we're going to overpay for now because it's so late.
Well, it's 2 hours.
Yeah. So exactly.
So, flip a coin, innit? What do you do?
Exactly, it is.
Do we have the money to buy him right now? Has that been sanctioned to buy him right now?
We had the money to buy Vlahovic, didn't we? We've definitely put a couple of offers in for him, and we've definitely put an offer in for Isak as well, which was rejected. So
we offered him 56 mil.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is that it does seem that obviously we want them because we put an offer in for Vlahovic. He chose to go elsewhere. We've put an offer in for Isak, so that tells me that he is the next, top target. So that's the best way that we're going to actually be able to deal with that knowledge. Is that we definitely want him because we've tried to buy him.
And Edu, I think he sat down and spoke with Jonathan David's representatives. They flew to London to speak with Edu in December. So they have been trying to get something definitely sorted.
Yeah.
From the sounds of it.
Yeah. Absolutely. It is a massive worry though, because the thing is, if we went the next 17 games with no injuries, no COVID, no suspensions, I think we'll be fine. But that ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen in a million years. So we are going to be reliant on Lacazette, who very, very rarely can ever finish a 90-minute game, and then a backup of Eddie Nketiah. And with the backdrop of both of them looking to, definitely will be leaving in 6 months' time. So they're going to be that's going to be our forward line that we're going to be trying to rely on to get us into the top 4. And just a welcome to Ryan as well. Thank you for joining us, mate.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. Yeah, I might run a bit late. It is what it is.
No problem.
I'm tired and bored and dying of boredom here. Help.
Well, we're just finishing up really talking about the Aubameyang situation. Looks to me very much like we just ripped up his contract so that he can go and negotiate directly with Barcelona. And he's played obviously his last game for Arsenal. So there's some sadness a little bit tinged to it, but it's the way it's turned out after the start of his life at Arsenal. But the last 18 months or so, like James said earlier, he's brought it all upon himself. One thing we haven't touched on yet, how massively unprofessional it was that he just took it upon himself to go and fly off to Barcelona anyway. The club didn't know he was going.
Happened?
Yeah. Barcelona didn't know he was going. Arsenal didn't know he was going.
They didn't realise until earlier when they went in there and there was the peloton empty. They were like, "Oh, peloton Pierre ain't here. Where's he gone?"
They ran out on the doorstep at Barcelona to pick up the milk from the doorstep, and Aubameyang was just stood there waiting to open the door.
Cobwebs all over him.
Arsenal have ripped up his contract. That's it. He's done.
I mean, how lucky is he that he's literally not the next Peter Odemwingie, that it actually happened in the end? Because if it hadn't have happened, if he'd come back to Arsenal, he would never have forgotten that for the rest of his life. Yeah. He would always be the next Peter Odemwingie. But I think that's really, really unprofessional of him, and it's just another example of why we've got rid of him in the first place. I mean, I come to you now, Ryan. Obviously, we've all had a chance to have a chat about the situation, but yeah, he's gone. It's a permanent deal. Yeah, I'm not even going to say good luck to him, to be fair, because one thing that we've mentioned is how good it is that it's not turned into another Ozil situation.
I mean, in terms of Aubameyang today, I think that's got that. I think that was the final straw for Arsenal itself. The way he acted today, literally, the audacity to jump on a private jet to Barcelona, to have people outside the airport. The people must have caught wind. So, and then to literally, as I say, trying to speed up the process. And then things broke down. He was on his way back, and clearly we've had a conversation with him. What the fuck are you playing at? It doesn't take long.
No.
It's not like with Arshavin back in the day. We bought Arshavin, where the weather conditions were abysmal. It's from the other side of Europe, where it took a few hours to get over it. It's literally a stone's throw in terms of a flight. He didn't have to do what he did. He clearly did it for a reason. And yeah, good riddance to him. This is meant to be was our captain until last month. Meant to be leading by example. So really, the club didn't have a choice in doing what they did today, turn up his contract tonight, because what sort of message does that send the kids if he'd come back, even if he weren't in the plane? The fact that he'd be coming back, still taking a wage out of us every week.
You take the batteries out the doorbell when he comes back, so you just hide behind us.
I know it's madness. I just think that obviously there's so much going on behind the scenes there with him. It's not the fact that he was just late to the North London derby. It's not the fact that he was late, but again, since then, there must be so much more behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Yeah, I think so.
For it to get to this stage.
Whatever the final straw really was with Arteta, with Aubameyang, I think we might find out with the documentary when it comes out later on in the year.
Yeah, potentially.
Because if it's bad on Aubameyang, they're going to want to throw him under the bus like they've done with other players in the years gone by. But they've got a documentary to do it. So you look, this is how he behaved. We had no choice. He forced our hand.
Yeah.
Is it?
What were you going to say?
Devil's advocate here. Is this a really a bad thing? I mean, they wanted him out of the club. He wanted out of the club. They were obviously speaking to various clubs, including Barcelona. If anything, it's more embarrassing that it was Aubameyang that got the deal over the line and not Adu, right? If anything, it's more embarrassing in that way.
Well,
he had the tenacity to get up off his arse and think, okay, fuck it, I'll make it happen then. Otherwise, we could have been stuck with Aubameyang, still earning 350 bags a week and shunned from the team. So I think it's worked out well for everybody.
But obviously, he made sure he wasn't late for the plane as well, didn't he?
Yeah, the sheer irony behind all this.
It works out well for us if we bring somebody in. At the moment, for me it's bad, but he wasn't he wasn't a solution anyway, because it's like you said, Stan, there was no way he's going to be reintegrated back into the club. There was no way.
No.
There's one thing that we know about this manager, and there's a lot of things that people throw at him, but once you're done with this guy, you are finito. You do not come back, because what happened with Xhaka, that was under Emery. So he can get sent off as many times as he likes, but
he didn't kick off yet.
No, he hasn't.
Be on time, please.
He didn't throw the armband and tell Arteta to F off when he was there. So
no, and he doesn't put his elbows on the table when he's eating, and he always says his pleases and thank you.
But no, for me, I think the big thing was that with Aubameyang, we were going into the Southampton game, weren't we? And he was late, and he had already done a test privately, but he had to be there at 12 o'clock to do the test from the Premier League, because Arteta wanted him in the squad. He was like, you're on a bad run of form, and I need you. We've got Southampton. We've just lost to, I think it was just after we lost to Everton, the Man U, wouldn't it? Yeah. So he's like, I need you for this game. Come on. You might, Southampton, this is the kind of team you probably score against, get you back in form. I need you. Come on. And he messed up. And I think that was it. He was like, I've given you a chance here to come back and do something for me, and you've still messed it up when you promised me that you would be here on time. And he's like, that's it. That's, that is the straw. And I don't know if we'll get that in the documentary. I think we're too, maybe nice is the word, that best sort of word to you. I don't think we'll do anything piece towards him. I don't think we got that in us. I don't think we're that kind of.
No, I don't think so either.
Well, apparently, I've Sky reporting that the media team are working to do a goodbye video to him as we speak.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I mean, the guy single-handedly. I mean, the reason for this, the the sadness is that how good he used to be. You know, what got him the new contract was we would have all been devastated if we hadn't got that new contract and he would have had to got rid of him at that time. I mean, everyone's got to hold their hands up and be honest to say
I think we all
wanted him to get that new contract.
We all said we've got to keep him no matter what, didn't we?
Yeah,
we didn't.
You know, and pay him the money, whatever it was. Because that
I hear that a lot. People saying we all said we didn't. I know me and a few other people were saying, "Are we not mindful after what happened with Mesut Ozil?"
Yeah,
and I'll tell you another example. When Sanchez left us, right? When Sanchez left us, Ozil left us, and everyone's like, we all wanted. When Sanchez went, we all wanted Ozil to stay. We couldn't lose them both. Again, that's not true. I was like, get rid of them both. They're dropping off.
But you'd have to agree, the vast majority would have said, keep him.
Yeah. No. That's very, very fair, Stan, and I'll take that back. It's generalisation, but I think it was a popular decision, shall we say, at the time, to keep him because he was carrying the club at that point. If it wasn't for his goals, no one else was scoring. He 2 goals in the semi-final, 2 goals in the final. You can pretty much say that he won that cup for us single-handedly at that point. And then we were at the situation where we had to either keep him or let him go for nothing. And we got him signed up on a new contract. He was walking around the pitch with Ian Wright saying he wanted to become a legend. And that's what makes me sad, to get from that place there 18 months ago to where we are now. It is a shame. It is a shame because I think he was a player and personality we all liked at that point. So what's happened since is just leaves a really bad taste in the mouth. You know, he should have walked out of this club with his head held high. He's going to be hated now as a player, which is a real shame for him. But like I say, he's brought it on himself. It's happened. And one thing I am really grateful for is the fact that it's not been drawn out like another Mesut Ozil situation for another 18 months, where we weren't willing to pay half of his wages for him to go to Barcelona, but we were willing to pay all of his wages for him to sit on his arse in the stands every single week. So I'm just happy it hasn't come to that.
I don't think fans are going to hate him. I think a lot of them are sort of like, well, this was bound to happen anyway. I don't think a lot of people care that much, really. They care from the point of view of it's left us criminally short. But I think if you really asked yourself, it was a foregone conclusion weeks ago. I mean, the minute that he was dropped for Southampton, I went to that game with Melvin. And I said to Melvin when we were there, he's never going to play for this club ever again. And Melvin went, do you really think so? I went, yeah. And Melvin agreed with me. He went, yeah, I don't think he's going to come back either. And he hasn't. So
I always thought that online, by the way.
When we were offering him the new contract, he wasn't very quick to sign. He didn't put pen to paper immediately. There was a lot of coaxing. Everyone was doing the tweeting, sign the ting. That kind of thing was going around again. Yeah. There were other clubs like Barcelona that were interested in talking to him, and he was holding off. But then if COVID just started to hit at that time, and the other clubs, everybody kind of like backed off on what they were going to do money-wise. And it kind of felt to me that when he eventually signed, it was because it was like, oh, well, there's nothing else now. They're offering me I'll sign. It always felt a little bit like that when he put pen to paper, that the other deals had fallen apart, and it was, well, it's a good chunk of money. It's better than nothing. I'll sign it. And it felt a bit begrudgingly to me that he signed it.
The decline started from then, didn't it? The actual decline started from that moment, didn't it?
It did.
I think he went on a goalless run for a few games, didn't he? And everybody started saying, he signed the contract.
Can you just see what that's on the screen there?
I'm checking it now.
Is that true?
Yeah. Is that the real Ornstein, or is that?
Is this? I'm on Twitter at the moment. I don't see it.
There's something on there. I was just checked.
No. Thank you, Ross. Thank you for that. Got excited there just for a moment. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to be happening, though. I really won't. You've got to get someone in there.
Happen. How can nothing? Something will happen. It may not be something that something will happen, right? Remember that season when we just brought in like Peter Cech and another outfield player? Yeah. Was it just Peter Cech? We did something though, right? We're going to do something, I think.
Well, we signed an American today, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
John Trusty from Colorado.
We've got a trusty centre back.
Trusty centre back from Colorado Rapids, who Stan Kroenke owns.
No, absolutely. We're doing it as a favour. He's not going to play a game for Arsenal. He's come over to get a foothold in Europe, isn't he? He's 23. Yeah. He's not a kid.
Yeah.
23 years old.
Well, he's Saliba's replacement, so you know he better be good. He better be good. I'm telling you now, he better be good. He better be good. If they qualify for the Champions League, he ain't coming back.
No.
Why would he want to? He's
I think he will.
Not if we don't get top 4, he won't come back.
I think he'll come back into the squad. I think we've cleared the way. How many weeks, Ryan, have we been talking about on the show about getting 2 centre backs gone in order to make way for Saliba to come back into the team? We've done it. You know, we've done it. We've moved on Pablo Mari. He ain't going to come back to the club. Pablo Mari. There's no way he's going to play another game for Arsenal. And we've got rid of Callum Chambers.
No, it doesn't look like it, does it? I mean, with Mari, obviously, gone to Indonesia, the way it's semi-decent club in Italy, probably more suited to his style of play. And yeah, Chambers just come out of nowhere. And that, I think anyone that watched my stream when that happened, because I was doing a live stream for the women's game that night. Was it women's game? Yeah, it must have been. I can't remember. Either way, and I just lost my nerve. I couldn't believe it. Because the fact it now leaves us with basically the backup to Tomiyasu with Cedric. And I'm like he was watching me that night. I was like, I'd rather have got rid of Cedric and kept Chambers until the summer. If he's still left on the free, so be it. But at least for the 6 months, we've got something in place. It's solid. The fucking guy put a man of the match performance in at Anfield against Liverpool in the first leg. And within 10 days, he's been sold to Villa under everyone's noses. Pretty much peanuts, basically, from what I'm hearing. Peanuts.
Yeah, but Ryan, you forget, Ryan, Hector will be back soon.
Oh, God, no, don't.
I've been saying, though, for weeks. I've been saying for weeks about how I couldn't believe no one had come in for Callum Chambers, didn't I? I've been saying that.
Didn't you? It's all your fault.
I know. I could not believe that no one had come in for him. And then...
See what they said about it? He had an extension in his clause. It wasn't done by the 31st. He could leave for like 2 million, and we sat there and were like, "Oh, no one's going to pay it." And then literally the day after, Aston Villa went bang. So before we even had a chance, so we actually wanted to keep Callum Chambers, but we were too silly, and he's ended up somewhere else.
We could have triggered an extra year on his contract, but that had to be done in December.
Yeah.
Yeah, New Year's Day. New Year's Eve.
So that passed. So we lost the opportunity of triggering a 1 year extension, which we should have done anyway.
We thought no one was going to pay it.
Yeah, but
do you not think these clubs are privy to all this stuff? And do you not think his agents out there going, he's Callum Chambers for £2 million ain't bad.
No, it's the bargain of the window, mate. Absolute bargain of the window because he's a good player. I don't care what anyone says. He's a decent player.
That's one thing I will say.
Absolutely.
Aston Villa, Mings, not the most trustworthy guy. I like Konsa. I think he's a very, very decent player. But Mings, you get hot or cold with Mings. You don't get, consistent.
Every game I watch him play, he always makes at least one stupid mistake, Tyrone Mings. Yeah, most of the time they're lucky enough to get away with it.
Very good case of the Flaminis. He does a lot of pointing at yelling at everyone else when it's his fault. Yeah, so, he's brilliant at that.
Absolutely. But I think one of the best, you've got to admit, the player that a club have signed that is the most perfect match possible is Burnley signing that Wout Weghorst to replace, what's his name that's gone to Newcastle. What a match that is. It's a match made in heaven for a player and a team. That's got to be one of the best.
Fantasy league, Andrew.
Sorry, say again.
You do fantasy football?
No, I do a team every year, and I put the team out. I never touch it.
He is a shout because they're Route 1 football that they're going to go now with him. He's even taller than Chris Wood was.
He's 6'7",
yeah.
6'7", or something like that. Yeah, he is the absolute match for Burnley. I'll tell you now.
I think if you could get McNeil and him cheap, get him in.
If you think about it, technically it would have been sitting to us amount of times we crossed that ball into the box and no one's there.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he could have done the job for us. I don't doubt that for 18 months or so. But
when Peter Crouch wants to get in the shade, he stands next to Weghorst.
Definitely, mate. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I don't think he's not that young, is he? About Weghorst, I think he must be pushing 30 or something at least. But I think he's got a contract till 2026. So I mean, blimey, he's going to be getting on a bit by the time he walks out of there. leaving turf more in a wheelchair, I reckon, by the time his contract's up.
Oh,
but yeah, what a great match
they are. They had Crouch on his pension, though, didn't they? So, it's nothing to that.
They did, yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. But, I mean, what we got left now, 1 hour and 53 minutes.
And we've loaned out Muller as well, by the way.
We've loaned
Muller back. We've loaned him back out again.
Who's that? Sorry, you broke up. I didn't hear the name.
The Swedish striker from the academy, Muller.
Oh yeah, Nikolai Muller.
Yes. Again.
Yes, we have. Yeah, and Tim McAnola. He's gone up to Dundee United as well today, isn't he? Which I think that's a really good move for him because obviously it's a lot of spit and sawdust up there. That's going to really get him used to it. What's that?
Oh, here we go. We'll give it away.
I just see that, yeah.
Brilliant.
For those listening to the audio version, it's can't pay. We'll give him away.
Love that.
Somebody just tweeted Diego Costa is still available.
Oh,
oh yeah, we like Chelsea's hand-me-downs. Yeah,
I know. Exactly.
Wouldn't shock me if we buy Zola.
Can you believe?
It's got a full Hogan Morata.
I'd rather not have anyone than Morata. I'm not even joking there.
Morata is the most confusing footballer I've ever watched in my life. I can't tell if he's class or if he's terrible. There's things I just But again, he's another one that would have been law of averages. When you're 6'3", if you're making 32 crosses a game like we do, you got to get on the end of one, surely.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Everton? Everton have done 2 deals. It looks like they've done 2 deals today. I mean, obviously, brilliant player Donny van der Beek. That's a real coup, in my opinion. Because people are wondering why he's gone there, but he wouldn't have had to move home. I mean, he could literally just still commute to Merseyside from wherever he's living in Manchester. But anyway, they're talking about spending 40 million on Dele Alli. I mean, what is wrong with that club? Do they never learn their lessons? 40 million quid for Dele Alli.
Sure, he's got more money than sense, clearly.
What an absolute idiot decision when you've got someone who also plays in that sort of same role in Donny van der Beek, and then you go and get him as well. I mean, that was an absolute idiotic move. I can't get my head around that one if they do it. I think
Everton has spent about £500 million in the last 4 or 5 years.
They have, yeah.
And they don't have anything to show for it except unrest.
I think they're playing Newcastle next, if I'm right in saying. If Newcastle win, then they're going to go 1 point behind Everton, I believe. I heard that. But if they're going to play Donny van der Beek, Dele Alli in midfield with, I don't know, who else they've got now? I've lost track. Yeah, I think that's good. That is a lightweight midfield.
You got Alan and Doucouré coming back.
Yeah, Doucouré probably be one behind them.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not a battle-hardened midfield to get you out of a relegation scrap, is it? Dele Alli and Donny van der Beek, plus one of Alan or Doucouré. But
they need goals.
What do you think about Rambo going to Rangers? I think that's a really good move, personally.
Makes more sense than going to Burnley, put it that way.
Oh, 100%. Without question, yeah.
And yeah, he's going to game time. He's going to the country. He's obviously going up out in Scotland. But obviously, at the same time, that could be the deal breaker. Basically, to come back in terms of the qualifying for the World Cup because they've got to play each other, I think, haven't they, for the qualifying?
Yeah.
So it could come back and bite Rangers on the arse in that sense, get a bit of hatred there. But he's a quality player, and he'll get a seat because of the name, because he played for Arsenal and all that, and what he'd done at Arsenal, and even though he didn't work at Juventus, he's coming from Juventus. He'll get bums in seats as well.
I think he'll be. Gaza went there, right? It's as big as that.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, Gaza.
Big as that.
He still thought I was a god now, and if he goes up there and smashes it, he will be the same. He's going to be, especially if they can retain the title this year and get automatic qualification to the Champions League, then they will automatically make 40, 50, 60 million quid from being in the group stage automatically.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a no-brainer to bring in someone like Aaron Ramsey who could be the difference maker.
He's going to be levels above probably anybody else in that league, I'd say as well. To be fair.
Oh, without question, yeah, mate. As long as he stays fit, he will be, yeah, without doubt. But I think that's a really good move for him, and good luck to him. I really hope he does well. I'm really glad he didn't go to another Premier League team, to be perfectly honest. Would have been quite sad to see him there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would have been so weird if he turned up at Wolves or Burnley on a match day.
Oh, can you imagine him at Burnley? Honestly, that would be... I mean, Burnley.
But obviously, he don't, it looks like he's in... Obviously, I said there's a photo of him in Glasgow as we speak now, go over all the paperwork. His baptism of fire, the Old Firm on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Can't ask for much more than that, can you? What could go wrong?
Would anybody here have taken Aaron Ramsey back on that proviso that Juve are paying all of his wages?
100%.
Yeah,
I'd have picked him up. I'd have picked him up myself.
Yeah.
Can't drive. I'd have done
Yeah.
I would have piggybacked him all the way from the airport.
I say that because I saw some people discussing it on Twitter, and there was a lot of people that were saying no.
Oh, that's just ridiculous.
What he brings to the club will bring to the squad is more than any of our midfielders would bring. Yeah. He's a box-to-box midfielder still. He's experienced. He knows what it is to play for the club. He wouldn't need time to bed in. He has skills on midfield. And he's
still a class player.
And he's reliable and like Planet.
How old is he now?
Yeah.
29, 30, something like that.
I think he's 31. But I might be completely wrong. But I thought I heard on Sky earlier that he was 31.
He's around about that, yeah.
But anyway, I think he's a class player.
He's 31.
Yeah.
Boxing Day 1990. So yeah.
The thing is, what people were talking, I don't know, it was only like pundits talking on Sky earlier, and they said that the maximum, the highest earner at Rangers is on about 40 grand a week. So, and from forget what everyone thinks that Ramsey's on, he's on 150 grand a week, which is obviously still a massive salary, but it's nothing like the 400 grand that's reported. But Juventus must be subsidising the other 110 grand a week for him to go, so the Rangers are only paying 40 grand a week. I mean, that's a brilliant deal for Rangers. The fact that they've pulled that off, that's a really massive coup for them, isn't it, really? To get Ramsey on 40 grand a week. I think we could have done that all day long, and I think you couldn't really argue with that, could you?
I think where some of these high figures come in with the salaries, if you remember when we were looking at Vlahovic, it was reported that we were going to offer him 300 grand a week. What that actually means is they look at how much does a player actually want in his pocket after tax. That's 150 grand. So in order for him to get 150 grand in his pocket, we have to pay double that because it's about 50% tax around about that in the UK. So that's how these. I think sometimes when you see Aubameyang, right, they mention the 350. Other times it's the lower. So whether you're talking before tax or after tax, rather than being given 150 grand and then you pay 50% of that on tax.
Yeah, and what annoys me a lot of the time as well is when the media report the figure in total of what the player's going to cost in a transfer fee, add on all the extra agents' payments, add on all the potential bonuses that could possibly happen, even if like Arsenal enter the World Cup somehow and win that. And then they add it, literally everything in, and then round it all off into what it will cost us per week to get that player. And people, some stupid people, literally take that as what the salary is going to be, when in fact it's everything all rolled into one.
But nobody pays that money out, though, do they? Nobody pays that money out in a lump sum. Like there's 90 million. They're all paid out over several years, or the length of the contract, aren't they? Most of these deals. Because I mean, these clubs don't have that money in their back pocket just to shell it out, do they? They have
only this one will be this. If we do trigger the release clause, you have to pay it all in one go. Yeah, that's the difference with these deals. But otherwise, you're right, Steve.
What I want to know as well is this Mbappe rumor, and he's going to be on £755,000 a week at Real Madrid. I thought they were skinned. I thought they had to do the Super League because they had no money. Well, how are they affording £755,000?
Same with Juventus find the money somehow.
They went back to the banks again, didn't they?
Spanish government will pay a lot of it. I'm telling you now.
Have you ever wondered why football is probably, you think of any other walk in life where you discuss a salary. When is it that you discuss it on a weekly basis? You always say monthly or yearly. Do you know the reason for that, though? The reason for it, as I understand it, is that obviously back in the day when you had the early 1800s when football teams were starting, and a lot of these teams are made up of guys working in foundries or mills or armories, like in Arsenal's case. You've got to remember, these are guys have got their normal job, and at the end of every week they get a little brown envelope with their shillings and a few pounds in there because they're working men. So they try to keep it at a weekly thing because this is supposed to be a working man's sport, and it's supposed to. But if you think about it, when you're talking about 350 grand a week, the normal working man can't get his head around that, right? Doesn't get that in a year. So it is. I've always thought it funny how we always talk about footballers and their weekly wage. You know, you look at Eddie Nketiah. If you really hear it out loud, it sounds quite startling. He earns £2.3 million a year. He's a very wealthy young man.
40 grand a week or something.
Yeah, 40 grand a week. Very wealthy young man already, right?
So's Balogun. They had to give Balogun 40 grand a week.
Yeah, because of Saka. Yeah, they saw what Saka got the year before, and they're like, if we can have that, I want it.
And Nketiah, because obviously they've got the same agent. But I used to work with a woman whose sister worked for Coventry City in the payroll department. And she said that and previously she worked in another club in the Midlands in their payroll department in HR as well. And so it's contrary to what people actually think, though. They do the footballers do actually get paid monthly. They don't get paid weekly, but it still gets reported weekly. So it's a bit weird. It's very confusing. But I think that is the right stand, though. It's that's where it goes back to the way that they used to get paid weekly. Coming out the pit, whatever they used to do back in the day, and go and have a play, because obviously everyone was semi-professional back then as well, and they used to marry it up with their weekly wage. Because
but now they go into payroll to get their brown envelope every week, though, do they?
Yeah, that's true.
I found a brown envelope once back in the 90s, walking home from my doctor's. I was walking along and there was a brown envelope on the floor, and I kicked it, and it was like about 80 quid in there, but there was no name. No, nothing. It was just a brown envelope with 80 quid in it. I thought,
that's from a drug dealer. Dropped that.
It's a Friday. I thought someone's just probably dropped their, been working, as a temp somewhere in a warehouse, and they've lost this. You know what I mean? But there was nothing. There was no name or anything. So I went out on a piss that night and got a kebab on the way home.
I bet it was for some money for some drugs or something, mate, as well, potentially in a unmarked brown envelope passed under the table or out of a car window somewhere. You never know, dear. But anyway, what's the latest? I'm just trying to keep up now. So it's 1 hour 40 minutes left. See if there's any more news sort of going past. If you've seen anything, you keep refreshing Twitter. Any of you guys?
There's not a lot interesting. And if there's worth putting a tenner on Arsenal not signing anybody, or a tenner on Arsenal signing somebody in the next hour.
A lot of people arguing.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah.
What's going to happen then? What do you reckon? It's going to be the fallout.
Well, I don't know. Do you guys think it's all Edu's fault that we've not signed a player?
Partly down to him. He's well back to football, but partly. But most of the players has to go to the hierarchy again, because they're the ones that employ these people. They're the ones that get the final say in transfers and ins and outs and hiring and firing of whoever. They hired these people. It all goes back to them. But Edu will get the flack because he is a director of football. Part of his job is recruitment.
Yeah, but I suppose you could argue they signed 6 players in the summer window, and that was to carry us through to next summer. You don't really generally sign top players in January, do you? Because clubs don't want to spell.
Yeah, you get your point, but then you don't go to 6 months later after strengthening a team, like you say, then go, in the top 4 of those, let's strip the squad down to its bare bones, basically, and not replace anyone.
Yeah, but
anyone we do,
look at it, we're not selling players that are actually playing for us, are we? No one's in the side. So when Kolasinac plays, everybody goes on, what's he doing still playing for us? Now he's gone. We sold Kolasinac.
I'm not bothered about Kolasinac, but everyone else.
I think to end a window weaker than you start it is.
Are we though? Only from a squad point of view.
Yes, yeah.
Only purely from a numbers point of view. That's it.
Yes, but
Not
they
from the
also.
first
But
11
you got to
or
remember,
first 15,
Mikel.
like.
Mikel spoke the whole time about how he needed to strengthen. So he started this from the start with when the window was open, saying he wants to strengthen and he wants to bring the quality in. So he's touted that that's what he wants to do. And if he's not done it, then it does fall at his door and at Edu's door as well. And
is that purely though because you can't actually get the players you want? So rather than buying players you don't really want, you don't buy anybody.
Yeah, but I think that's unacceptable.
Well, maybe
I think to buy nobody, especially when the decisions we've made have got us knocked out. It got us knocked out of the FA Cup. We were criminally underprepared for Nottingham Forest due to the fact we let Maitland-Niles go early. And that was because, I couldn't stop the player from doing what he wanted to do. It's like, no, you had another one there his missus was digging you out on Instagram. You had enough of him as well because he was digging you out in person. And you got rid of him as, you were like, I can't have another potential falling out with a player here. You got to remember this guy at the moment has tanked pretty much every player that we've had's value as well. We had a bid last January of 25 million from West Ham from Nketiah, and we refused it, thinking that he would sign a new deal. We're here a year later. We get a bid for 12 million from Newcastle and reject it. We get another one today from Palace for 6 million and reject it. And now he's going to go for free. Nketiah is not a player that I would want to keep, but for God's sake, just take the 12 million and try and do something.
Yeah,
we have got to do something because top four, like you said, it's not happening. And people go, oh yeah, but the remit's top six. Well, we didn't set a remit, and last year you told me top six was the remit, and he got 8th, and you were happy to move the goalposts then. So why have I got to move the goalposts again for this year? How much further do the standards of this club have to drop before we all go, this is enough? Because it's dropping. It's dropping constantly.
Yeah.
It's interesting that just come up on Sky that Aston Villa haven't given up hope of signing
ESR.
No. Yves Bissouma. They've not given up hope of signing Bissouma before the transfer window. But that's interesting. No, that's it. I know, but that's interesting because it means that we could potentially get Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz, if that's the case. 1 in, 1 out for Villa.
Stevie G seems to have quite a lot of pull over there at Aston Villa. And I felt 6, 7, 8 months ago on a podcast, I was saying that I was feeling that Arsenal's star is fading. And I think it's definitely very dull at the moment when it comes to attracting players. And what really annoys me is when you see us linked with a player or a team linked with a player, and then you hear that the player's kind of dragging his feet because they're not in the Champions League yet, and he wants to wait and see what happens. And that really fucking grinds my gears. Bring me the players that turn around and say, I'm going to come to your club.
I will get you into the Champions League.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll be the icing on the cake. I will fire you there. I will be the hero. I mean, look at Bernd Leno. Well, Newcastle could be good, but they might get relegated. Well, why not go there and keep the ball out of the net and help them stay up?
Exactly. That annoys. Couldn't agree more, mate. I said the same thing over and over again. It's like when we were after Vlahovic earlier on in the window, and he said, "Well, I'm not sure about going to a club with not getting into the Champions League. If we don't get to the Champions League, mate, it will be partially your fault if it's signed you because you haven't done your job." Yeah. This is what really annoys me.
Yeah, this is the thing that annoyed me about when Torreira, because obviously he was, I want to be playing after his first full season, and the end of it was rumours that he won't be in Champions League football. Hang on, it's not just you, obviously, but why aren't you telling your teammates this then and get your head out your asses and getting us over that line then? You had two boxes at the Sherry that season, the league 1 point missed out, and in the final, and really none of these really gave a crap because otherwise we wouldn't have fucking dropped off the way we did.
Exactly.
It does my head in. Like, you complain about it, but you're part of the issue because you're complaining to the media, going to the media saying this, but you're not actually saying to your teammates. And being that leader that we desperately needed at the time as well to sort of drag the team over that line to get us in the Champions League. So he didn't complain anymore. And he were playing Champions League for Arsenal in London.
I know. And at the end of a season, when we finished our 8th last season, 5th the season before, and the players start moaning that we're not in the Champions League, so we might have to start looking elsewhere. Well, it was your fault, mate, that we're not in the Champions League. You're the reason. You're not the reason why we finished 5th, why we finished 8th last season. So get us back into the Champions League, God's sake. You know,
when we signed
really
Lacazette,
pissed me off.
Sorry, when we were signing Lacazette, he was a 30 goals a season goal scorer obviously over in Ligue 1. Comes to us, he's never hit that height since. Aubameyang, for the first up till the first 2.5 years, phenomenal. But in the big games, like the Europa League final, went missing. The one that turned up in big games was, apart from obviously the cup final and semi-final against City and Chelsea, apart from them 2 individual games there, the only one that did turn up in big games was Lacazette. But since he's done his ankle, going into Emery's second season, when he's rolled his ankle, he's never been the same. He's dropped off. He's now more stopped up and doesn't know, can't hit the barn door. He put it in his face, for crying out loud. How he misses that opportunity the other week. And then we're now stuck. If we don't sign no one in the next hour and a half, our season relies on Eddie and Lacazette getting the head out of us and then putting the ball in the net.
See, that's one thing I don't agree with, though. They are their only strikers, but we've not been relying on them. It's basically we were going to be relying on Saka, we're going to be relying on Smith Rowe, we're going to be relying on Martinelli, and we're going to be relying on Ødegaard to some extent to supply those 3 as well. So they're the main players, because Lacazette hasn't been scoring a goal anyway. Nketiah hasn't scored a Premier League goal since April 2020 or something like that. So this is going to be the relying on 3 20-year-old kids.
It's the kids.
They're going to drop off as well, Andrew.
Yeah,
they're going to drop off. They're not going to overexert themselves to score a goal for Arsenal, potentially get injured and ruin. Which it's going to be Lacazette's last payday, right? So he's not going to want to properly go for it hell to leather because he's going to ruin his last ever payday. And then Nketiah is looking at potentially getting his biggest ever payday, regardless of where he goes. So he's not going to properly, like we say, you want to see the players fighting for the, if a cross comes in and there's that header and that goalkeeper's going to punch it and it's the hole, he could, a bit like what happened to Jimenez with David Luiz, sadly, with the start, you're not going to get that from them. To score that goal, you're not going to get it from either of them 2 players because they're not going to overexert themselves for this club now.
No.
Well, Nketiah would just let it hit him in the face and bounce wide as well, to be fair.
Not just wide, 20 yards wide.
Ryan
go out for a
throw name earlier, and it always makes my heart sink a little bit every time I hear it, and that was of Lucas Torreira. Because of all the players that we've got out there on loan, he's that one player that I honestly believe that he could be doing a job for us right now. And I think that Lucas Torreira, the way that he plays the game, he could be our own Kante, I believe. Running all over the bottom half of the pitch, putting out fires, but he was handled so badly. And I just find it hard to believe that Mikel Arteta, and to an extent Emery, could not cajole him and get the best out of him. I mean, they all speak the same mother tongue. You'd think that would be a big help, right? I just don't. The last game I ever went to was the 4-2 North London derby. That was my last live game before I moved over here to North America. And I was raving about Lucas Torreira after that goal. I really thought that he was going to be with us for a long time. But just couldn't get that one to work. And it really bugs me every time I hear his name.
He's the right age. He's the right skill set.
Sorry.
No, carry on, Steve.
No, I was just going to say, I think with Arteta, it's just you get one chance with Arteta, don't you? If anything goes wrong or you fall out.
Unless your name's Xhaka.
Well, but as we've said, he didn't fall out with him before he came to the club, did he? So he's been given a second chance, and red cards don't count, So if you fall out with Arteta, that's game over, isn't it? So
and he's also obsessed with stature, so he was never going to fit in. He's too small. Sadly, the manager has an obsession with stature. No, he was never going to make it.
Yeah.
Could have got some platform shoes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, get some lifts. Yeah.
We'll end up with a squad of Arteta players, won't we?
Some really thick inner soles.
By the next transfer window, we'll have a team squad full of Arteta players, won't we?
Well, with all this money we've saved, we need to get the stuff from. Do you remember in Flubber when he made him jump higher? We need to invest in the stuff from Flubber, and then we'll outleap all the players. Then we don't have to sign 6'3". Yeah, just go get the technology from Flubber.
I know it's looking. I mean, there's nothing flashing up at the moment. How's Twitter looking at the minute? Any signs of anything?
It's just all Aubameyang going. That's all it is, really.
Yeah, it's looking less and less likely that anything's going to happen, isn't it?
I mean, on a positive note, it will give maybe some of the younger players currently not in the side an opportunity to come as we go forward. We've talked about Coutinho and a couple of others. Maybe they'll get a little bit of a chance, especially to get some injuries.
The only thing is that putting the ball in the back of the net. We're going to be so reliant on now 3 20-year-olds, as we mentioned, and Lacazette and Nketiah staying fit. Mainly Lacazette, obviously, staying fit. And that's up front. El Nini. Well, it's worth a try, I suppose. Yeah, you never know.
Here's Arteta. Come on.
I'd like. Actually shooting than Partey has, so
it's no problem, James. We'll finish up with yourself. Last thoughts then. Last thoughts though before you go, really, on if worst comes to worst, which looks like we're not going to sign anyone. What's your prediction for the rest of the season?
Pain.
Do you think we're going to get into Europe? And when I talk about Europe, I'm not talking about the Audi Cup, Europa Conference League.
No.
Europa League or Champions League?
No, it's too thin. Like you said earlier, and you smashed it. If you can guarantee me now that all that first 11, none of them drop off, nothing happens, the manager doesn't have a falling out with any of them as well, then yeah. But you just know that's not going to happen. You just know, I'm still seeing that Tomiyasu's still not fit. So, we're going to be playing Ben White against Wolves at right back and everything. So, I'm not expecting points from Wolves. I'll say that right now. Brentford, I hope, we get revenge on them. And then who's it after Brentford? Is it Everton or someone, I think?
Aren't we having Wolves back to back? I thought we were having Wolves back to back, aren't we?
It's possibility not been confirmed yet, but possibility.
But no, I'm not confident at all without an addition of a forward.
Wolves, Brentford, Watford, Leicester, Villa. It's a tough run.
Aaron Ramsey's official now at Rangers, been confirmed in the last few minutes.
That's a big signing for them. I'm really pleased for Aaron Ramsey. I really am, and I'm pleased that. But it's a good thing from him to go to a club like Rangers as well, not be too snobbish about it. Obviously, I'm not saying Rangers are a massive club, but they're not. They're not like it was back in the 80s and 90s when they had all these amazing players and they were seen as very much on the same level as all the top English teams, Celtic and Rangers at that point. It's not the same anymore, is it? So I'm pleased that he's gone somewhere like that where he's going to play every single week and hopefully get to the World Cup.
Rangers and Celtic have the most supporters clubs in different places in the world. They stretch
massive.
For whatever reason, they stretch so far. They've got supporters clubs in God knows where.
I'm pretty the highest mountains out there, and I've got to the top. I've got into the gift shop, and the guy behind the counter is wearing a Celtic shirt in the middle of nowhere. How?
They're massive clubs. You can't unless you sort of go and experience it. You don't really know, do you? But I'm pleased he made that choice, and he could be a legend up there, couldn't he? So I hope it goes really well for him. I obviously got nothing but but nothing but love for Aaron Ramsey, to be honest with you.
Anyway, I'm going to shoot off. But thank you so much.
So yeah, thank you for coming on, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll catch up with you soon, mate.
Because I want to see the reaction when we trigger someone's release clause. So
no problem, mate. Take care. Yeah, all the best. Bye. Thanks for coming on, mate. Take care. Bye.
And then there were 4.
And then
yes, thank you to James. It's great for him to pop on. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting final an hour and a half now to see if anything does. Obviously, the chances are ebbing ever so slightly away as each minute passes now.
Let me ask you 4, right? Let me ask you 3, sorry. Right, now that we're so close, do you think that there's going to be a name coming in the door? And I don't mean like a trustee from Colorado Rapids, someone that we kind of are aware of, at least one. Do you think it's going to happen?
Well, in the next hour?
Yeah.
I was confident.
I think so. I think so. I'm something, you know.
I'm not giving up hope, mate. I'm really not.
Too quiet for me, so I don't know.
I know there's nothing. This is what I mean. There's absolutely nothing.
We tend to go left field, though, don't we? A lot of the time, we look at the summer transfers, though, when we went, Tomiyasu, Tavares. Nobody picked those players out, or not many people would have picked those players out. Nobody wanted Ramsdale. Obviously some people did, but majority didn't want Ramsdale. But that's what we tend to do. We tend to go for the less. We don't go for the players we think we're going to go for. We always go for somebody slightly different, don't we?
Yeah, we all thought we were going to get in Emerson Royal, and then then Tomiyasu turned up. And
exactly.
Yeah. As well.
It was just a bit earlier in the day, wasn't it? On deadline day in the summer, it was a bit earlier that it happened, and the one thing that gives me a little bit of hope.
Where did come from? Nobody would have picked out Lukonga, would they?
No. They're not the sort of things you pull out on deadline day, are they? Though
no, they're not. But that's what we tend to do, though, isn't it? We tend to sort of pull out these sort of players.
I'm just thinking if we're going to get anyone now. I mean, it's going to be someone that's got a release clause somewhere, or if Villa,
or a free agent or a loanee.
Well, there's a free agent training of us. So.
If Villa go and get Bissouma, for example, then it might open a door for us to put a bid in for Douglas Luiz.
I think it's going to be Wilshere, Edu, and Arteta playing deep.
See, I don't think a midfielder. The only way a midfielder comes in now, I think, is if they can't get a striker, because everybody's back now. We're kind of back to where we were before AFCON in the midfield, right?
Everyone, I agree.
Yeah. So unless they can't get a striker over the line, you might be right. Someone like a midfielder, a release clause, like what you say is happening at Villa, could happen.
I mean, God forbid if I wasn't actually saying that in the place of a striker, but it might be something that we're also working on. But I can only foresee that it's going to be Isak's release clause. I can't see anyone else where it could happen. I mean, yeah, I mean, I my feelings about that. I just think
it's 2 minutes to midnight in Spain. And on the roof of the Liga building, 2 men are seen in black outfits, looking like the Milk Train Man, abseiling down the building. They smash into a window and put the briefcase on the deck.
And then the bloke behind the desk says, "You realise you could have done this electronically?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, PayPal."
You never know.
But Melvin's just saying, why can't we get Bissouma? It's the same answer as I gave earlier about, what's his name?
Hasn't Bissouma got a court thing coming up or something a little bit unsavoury going on there?
He has, he has. But I mean, we obviously don't want him. We would have gone and got him if we wanted him. And it's the same with, bloody hell, what's his name? God.
Bruno Gummy Bears.
Yes, thank you, Bruno Gummy Bears. Yeah. We didn't want him. We could have got him if we wanted him, but we didn't obviously want him.
Have you seen the welcome video for Bruno Gummy Bears for Newcastle? Have you seen it? The digs at Arsenal at the beginning.
Yeah.
A solid,
absolutely ridiculous.
A solid 20 seconds at just constant digs at Arsenal.
It's either that or he's bitter.
That is so small
for him. Like, he's really bitter that we didn't go in from that, Bruno.
That's really small time though. That's really embarrassing on his part, I think, to be perfectly honest, because we never wanted him.
Money aside for a second, it was the Newcastle side of things. Money aside, him going to Newcastle in a World Cup year when they could possibly get relegated still, even with him there, they could still get relegated. And he's gone there. He's a regular in the World Cup year. He could be playing. He could be a championship player playing at the World Cup. Or possibly not, actually. If you get relegated, I think, well, no, you're not in the top league. You're playing for Newcastle, you're not in the top league.
I'm not just saying this as well because we didn't get him, and then, because I honestly don't believe we went in for him at all. But and it's not sour grapes when I say this, but I've heard a lot of reports to say that he's not the sort of player you want to rely on in a relegation battle. He's very much a good time player, like a sunny day player.
Well,
maybe Arsenal know this, right? And the plan is that we'll get him far cheaper in the summer when we get him from the championship.
When he's relegated. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, exactly. He's got a relegation release clause for £5 million, and we'll pop in and get him.
Well, he's not reliable. We'll fit right into Arteta because he's got Granit Xhaka, so it'd be the perfect replacement.
Yeah, but no, honestly, that's what I've read and heard on podcasts of players, pundits and players that know him and know of him a lot better than we do, saying that he's not the sort of player you want to rely on in a fight. He's
a bit Ozily.
Yeah, no, honestly, yeah, that's that type. Honestly, that type. So I'll be interested to see how he gets on. I might be completely wrong, but that's only what I've heard. So
this our current setup with the players that we're going to have, do you think staying fit we're good enough to get in top 4 with our current players available?
If everyone stays fit, I do believe we are.
Yeah.
But that's a massive ask when it's COVID around, when there's suspensions, when there's injuries.
COVID's the same for everybody, and the isolation's been reduced now, isn't it? So we're only playing once a week. So you play for a game.
I'm not so sure because a lot of people are saying that we've got a very good first 11, an adequate first 11, but we don't have much after that. I actually think that we have a good first 9. The two players that help us not have a good 11 for me is Xhaka and no good forward. So I think that we've got a good 9. I think that we won't get to the top 4. I think we will be lucky if this window comes and goes now and we don't have a fresh face or two come in, then I think that we'll be really lucky to get a 6. And I think that 6 has to be the minimum requirement this season. We have to get back into the Europa League at least. Otherwise, if we don't get 6, I think Mikel Arteta has to go.
If we win our games in hand, we're only 2 points behind Chelsea.
Yeah, big if. Then look at the games they are against.
I know, but it's a big if. I know it's a big if, but it's still a fact. You can't say our chances of getting into the top 4 are gone now.
Do you think there's any way
this set of players have got us to this position? So they are good enough.
Do you think there's any way that Pepe could come to the party to actually get amongst the goals?
I hope so.
He needs to, isn't he? I mean, he's been in and out.
Arteta needs to give him a genuine chance now. I don't care where along the front three, but give him a chance.
If you want to get the most out of Saka, then I think you have to use Pepe because you have to give players a breather now and then, right?
That's very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's just the last half-hour games that you're winning. When you're winning comfortably, take Saka off last half hour.
And sorry, even in the sort of lesser games against the Norwiches of this world, even though we ain't going to play them again this season, but them sort of teams mid-table lower, start Pepe, give Pepe a run out for that game, rest Saka completely.
Yeah, but when you've considered we've only got 17 games left in this season, one game a week, you've got to play. You've got to play your strongest team every single game from now on to get top 4, without question.
I'm just saying because obviously he's had his first season last year. Then he had the Euros, had all the backlash of that. He's been playing a lot this season, more than he's sort of really been because it's games where we can tell he's knackered, but he's having to push through. So give him a rest, as you say, give him the rest here and there when we can afford to rest him fully. As in put him on the bench, for example, and only being one worst case scenario. Because obviously, then you've got this season out the way. Then you've got the summer pretty much freed up. But then next year it's going to be absolutely manic because you've got the season starting off, then it stops part way through for the World Cup until Christmas, and then you've got the whole season starting up again.
Mm.
So he does at some point. He does need to sort of part of summer itself needs to sort of take a couple of games where he can come off the bench and be in it. And like Smith Rowe was early in the season, even though he was in form, we were coming off. He went to the bench and he was coming off from the bench and still having an impact.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I mean, luckily they've had this winter break basically now, isn't it? It's not really been an international break for us. It's been a winter break, 2.5 weeks off with light training, for an hour a day, whatever it's been over there. So hopefully it's done in everyone the world of good this last couple of weeks. I just hope to God Tommy Asu ain't out for too much longer, because we need him back as well.
Another plus of Dubai, they all got to meet the man, the myth, the legend that is Manuel Almunia.
I mean, why did they let him go up to our goalkeepers? Why did they allow him to go and talk to our goalkeepers? That is just, I mean, that's a sackable offence in itself. Just say, right, you can go where you like, Manuel, but don't go near Aaron Ramsey. Aaron Ramsey.
I think he brought some drinks and he dropped them, didn't he?
Yeah. I know, yeah, that's mad that is seeing him again, but I mean, why? Just why? Crazy.
I'm losing hope. Twitter's refreshing, but there's no names popping up at all.
No.
There's all the fake accounts saying we've, activated this and activated that, but
Portsmouth play Charlton this evening. If anyone's interested, Charlton 1-2-1. But if you play for those teams, I think you're pretty safe on transfer deadline day. You're not going to be looking to see whether you're off somewhere, are you? When you're actually playing on the pitch at that point.
So, are you staying on right to the window closes? Are you, Andrew?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, then I'm going to put myself on mute for about 10 minutes. I just need to nip away to take out a couple of things here, and I shall return, gentlemen.
Yeah, no problem, mate. No problem at all.
And hopefully, I'll bring some news with me. You never know.
You never know. You have to make some phone calls.
Yeah, that you are. Stop signing out for fuck's sake.
I think it's disappointing, isn't it? Because you go through the whole January window thinking, who we're going to get, who we're going to get, who we're going to get. And when it ends up like this, you just think, well, it's just a bit flat, isn't it, really?
I would have been so confident that even the way Mikel Arteta has been talking for the last few weeks about how aggressive they're going to be in the transfer market, wants to strengthen, blah, blah, blah. I was so adamant that we were going to get at least a couple of players in this window. Yeah. And the fact that we're at this stage now, an hour and 11 minutes left, I'm actually pretty damn shocked, to be perfectly honest. I really am a little bit disappointed. I mean, answer this question that's on the screen there, Steve. It's quite funny what Shane's put. Do you think fans of other clubs talk about money saved on wages?
I wouldn't have thought so, to be fair. I mean, I don't really follow a lot of other sort of club Twitter accounts, but I think we're pretty unique in that respect, I think.
Yeah, we've got so many accountants on Twitter, haven't we? Talking about.
I'm not sure how many of these people on Twitter have done multi-million-pound deals or run billion-pound companies that make these decisions on a daily basis that can say what we should and shouldn't do. But hey, what do I know?
I think you're underestimating them. I think they're excellent at Football Manager. I think they're excellent at FIFA. So they've got a lot of experience in as far as that goes, mate. So I think that's more than qualifies them to run a multinational football club.
A £1 billion industry worldwide, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
But it is disappointing. I thought when we started the transfer window, we all thought we were going to take the next step forward. I appreciate we were going to move players out to make way for these players, but I think somebody put a post on Twitter. I couldn't find it, but there was a picture of the Arsenal team photograph, and it was half missing.
I saw that. Yeah, but it was all just individual places where they were, isn't it? There was also another one. Remember last season's squad picture where it was taken from a balcony looking down because of COVID and stuff, and all of the players have been replaced, and they were all Mohamed El Neni. The whole squad was Mohamed El Neni. It's quite funny.
Yeah.
I think Andrew's put a post out about saying the new club kit will be out tomorrow.
Yeah, no, it'll be launched at 11:05.
Yeah,
a new Adidas retro range to take everyone's mind off the lack of signings.
I swear, if they drag this all out, and it literally, as you say, near the end, they go, "Welcome back, Jack. And I'll die. No. All that for that. He's free. He's been with us for God knows how long.
He's got a squad number now, though, isn't he? He's got a squad number.
Number 12, yeah.
Difference.
Well, I've different reports about that. Whether it's just because it's obviously just a washing basket full of tops that have just been dished out here, there, and everywhere just for training. So
no one else has number 12.
I'm not so sure that he's got a squad number. Have you seen? It would be on the website, wouldn't it, if he'd officially got a squad number?
Well, he's not part of the team, so he's not officially signed it. So
someone put on here, Shane, will Super Jack follow Rambo to Rangers? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be a nice sort of team to follow for whilst that continues. Watching Jack and Rambo in the same team, I'd watch all their games. That's for sure.
Get not just bums in the stadium, but get the eyes on the TVs as well for all the Rangers games.
I mean, this is another one. I mean, the same thing that I was saying about Callum Chambers. I don't get why no one is taking a punt on him. He's been training with us solidly for months now.
But he finished last season as our first choice right back, didn't he? Last season.
No, I'm talking about Jack Wilshere.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was Chambers. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Jack Wilshere. Sorry, I was saying the same about Rangers. Chambers. The way I couldn't understand why no one was coming in for him, and then all of a sudden Villa got him. But I can't understand why no one's going after Jack. Just for
he's obviously not the player he was, is he?
Yeah, but he's been proving himself.
It's one thing, isn't it? Actually being able to do it on the pitch is, I don't know.
I just don't get it. I mean, he's got to be worth a shot for someone. Rangers would be ideal, or a club in Scotland, or
Not to make out. He was at Bournemouth this time. He signed on at Bournemouth last season for the last 6 months of the season. There, he was injury free, played regularly, scoring goals, creating goals. I think obviously the deal was if they didn't get up, he could go. And obviously, he took the offer of going, and he thought the offers would come rolling in because obviously he proved in 6 months he could maintain fitness. But obviously, the offers ain't come rolling in.
He hasn't had an injury for 2 years. He's been doing excellently in our training every single day for the last few months. So, it's really
maybe it will be our marquee signing at 10:59.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying for weeks I'd like to have him on the bench as an option for the rest of this season, even if we never have to use him. Instead of having to put Charlie Patino on the spot or having to play. In fact, I'd still have Charlie Patino on the bench, but I wouldn't have Mohamed El Neni because he's leaving in the summer anyway. He's not the future. I know Jack's not the future either, but I cannot see how Jack would be worse to bring on for 20 minutes than Mohamed El Neni. I can't.
Yeah, no. I mean, the thing is, we've got how many players have we got that are finishing their contracts in the summer? Lacazette, Nketiah, El Neni. Who else? I mean, Leno. Now that we've signed this American goalkeeper, does that mean?
Yeah,
days are numbered. Yeah.
So that's another 5 players, possibly another couple. So another 6 players to go in the summer. That's a lot of replacements needed, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And they've all got to gel quickly, and they've got to hit the ground running before we go into a break for the World Cup. So I mean, it's all. I know it's a process, and we've got to stick with it. But Jesus, it's a bit of a gamble, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's interesting about what that lot down the road have done today as well. I mean, their 3 biggest signings in recent years. Obviously, Ndombele, that Brian
record signings, isn't it?
Giovanni Lo Celso, and Hill, Lo Celso, and Ndombele. All left. They've all left the club.
Crazy,
so it's not just Arsenal that make poor signings over the years. It happens to a lot of teams. So I mean, they are 3 of their biggest signings of recent times, and they've all left the club now.
Yeah,
I know they've brought 2 in today from Juventus.
It's not about buying the most expensive players, is it? Sometimes it's just buying the right players.
Absolutely.
But with Dembele, Fabrizio put a tweet out about 30 minutes ago. I'm looking on Twitter now, saying Dembele stays at Barca. He's never been really close to sign with any club in this month. Sorry, Man United weren't interested. Chelsea never opened any talks. Tottenham was never close. Wasn't interested in coming to Arsenal, but of a swap deal for the Aubameyang side of things, and no agreement with PSG. So
he's just he's been ruined by injuries, isn't he? That and Dembele, Ousmane Dembele. But we're talking about Tottenham and Ndombele and Lo Celso and Brian Keel, all three of their biggest signings of recent times, and they've all left the club already. So it's not just us that make poor signings over the years. It's all clubs, and especially that lot down the road. It's going to be interesting to see how their two new signings today that they've just brought in from Juventus get on. I mean,
I think Dembele myself.
The problem with our players is that we end up having to give them away, don't we?
Yeah,
Poor signings we have to give away.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the score is with those. What I think they're all gone on loan, I believe, haven't they?
So Dembele's on loan to the end of the season with the option to buy for the money they basically got in the first place, something like that.
Yeah. Well, I hope that, because a lot of the time when a player comes from Juventus, you instantly assume they're going to be, quality, absolute top quality players because they come from Juventus. But neither of the two signings made were playing for Juventus. Bentancur and Swedish guy, Kulusevski. So we just have to hope they bomb because, because obviously a club like Juventus wouldn't let players go if they were really good and really provide a good service to them. So let's just hope that they're no good, because it's a bit worrying that they brought in. I mean, they've done some good business. If they end up getting £40 million for Dele Alli, I swear to God, that's an absolute miracle. I mean,
it's right up there with Iwobi, isn't it? Really, probably does with Iwobi.
It's more, it's big. I mean, at least Iwobi was contributing something when we sold him. Not a lot, but he's been useless for about 2 or 3 years now, hasn't he, Dele Alli?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that just doesn't make sense, does it? Just doesn't make sense.
Everton never learned their lessons, did they? I mean,
it's a throw of the dice, though, isn't it? From their point of view, they've got to do something to get themselves points to stay in the league, haven't they? So it's a panic buy, I think.
And they've got Donny van der Beek, who plays in the same sort of position as him. Surely they don't do both. Very odd.
It's a bit like Man United buying Sancho, then buying Ronaldo, isn't it? You spend all that money on Sancho to play in that position, then you go and buy Ronaldo.
A bit like us buying Lacazette and then Aubameyang 6 months later.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we've all done it, haven't we? All the clubs have done it. Yeah. But let's be honest, the Aubameyang-Lacazette combination was really good to start with, wasn't it?
Do you reckon the Arsenal social media team are going to make a big song and dance about that trusty centre-back that we've bought and the goalkeeper that we've bought at the end of the transfer window, saying we made 2 massive signings this summer, this window?
More likely. With hashtag trusty the process.
Yeah, probably get someone like Arteta saying sorry. Arteta will be saying sorry. You've got to
laugh, haven't you? Otherwise, you just cry.
Yeah. Well,
we're officially in the last hour now. 59 minutes, 46 seconds left.
Yeah. I've been proven right. We ain't getting no one. There's no way. There's no way now. We're in the last hour. There's no way. Even if they're going to trigger these release clause now.
But if we activate the release clause, doesn't he still have to agree to come, or is it out of his hands?
Yeah, no, of course he has. Yeah, we can't put a bag over his head and bundle him into the back of a car.
So it's just saying we'll pay the release clause. Don't mean to say he's going to come, does it?
No.
I can say no, I don't want to come.
Yeah,
I don't think that would happen. But
we're in the last hour, so anything can happen, can't it? But
yeah,
gone very quiet in terms of name. Even any name dropping seems to have disappeared now. Diego Costa.
No one's seen Isaac for 2 days.
Yeah.
As I bet David Ornstein's gone to bed with a cup of hot chocolate. I bet he's just given up.
Yeah, he's got all these clones though, haven't they? They're all out there posting.
Oh, I don't know. He probably think, nah, nothing's happening. I'm going to bed.
It's funny. I've muted Aubameyang on Twitter, and it's gone really, really quiet.
Oh, don't. This is ridiculous.
In case anybody hasn't heard, Aubameyang has signed for Barcelona. I'll just put it out there.
Who'd have thought Sky would be able to get better pundits for the last hour of deadline day? With all due respect. Clinton Morrison and Chris Boyd.
Well, I just thank God they ain't got that stupid Scottish twat on there anymore.
Which one? Oh, Jim White.
Yeah, Jim White. I cannot stand him. But did you see Anton Ferdinand on there earlier?
Yeah, there's another one.
Absolutely useless. He can barely string a sentence together. Where do you get these people from?
A bit like his brother, then. It was cheap and cheerful, that's why. I'm surprised that there's fucking what's name on bloody Tottenham's back, everyone. Jamie O'Hara.
There's a tweet of the last hour. N5, which is at the N, then the number 5. I will take Ceballos back at this point. Tweeted 2 minutes ago.
I think you might even take anybody at this point, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but that's a good
Will
one.
you take me at this point?
Yeah, mate. Can you do 90 minutes?
Yeah. Give me a week in the gym, I'll be back to full fitness, no problem.
Get on the end of those Saka crosses, yeah?
Yeah. One way or the other. Even if I have a stud, the fuckers in, they're going in.
I was thinking the other day, if you just watched Nketiah play off YouTube and only watched his Carabao Cup games and his England under-21, you'd probably think he's worth 70 million, wouldn't you?
You would if you went by highlights, yeah.
You know, if you just saw the highlight videos of Nketiah scoring all those goals, you just think, wow, got to get him.
And Adam, who's at Airpod FC, said, Aubameyang unveiling video will take a swipe at Eddie Howe and Amanda Stavely because I'm that petty.
To be fair, he probably is that petty, so.
Because they were rumoured to be going after him, weren't they? So,
no, you know what? The Rangers shirt actually looks good on Ramsey. Actually, it does. It doesn't look weird on him.
I like that Rangers shirt. I like that colour blue.
Yeah. Look. They're making obviously, we've been saying it is a big deal for Rangers. Obviously, have someone of that calibre to go to him. But you got the press and everything are there, the fans, everything. And he's come out and gone. He's like, yeah, we have photos and all that.
It's the biggest signing since Paul Gascoigne. They were saying.
Merson said that earlier, didn't he? Yeah.
It was Ali McCoy said it. He should know a few things about that. So it's massive for them, and it's because I remember back in the 80s and 90s when they had some unbelievable players. Rangers, they had incredible teams, Aldrips, and
even in the early 2000s, that their teams they had were really, really good. I mean, we nicked Giovanni Broncos from there. He was up there amongst them all. Didn't Ronaldinho at one point come? Was it Ronaldinho or Arteta? Arteta was at Rangers at one point.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Gattuso.
Crystal Palace has signed John Philippe Mateta.
I would have thought all the players we were looking at sort of a year or so back that were all, banging on about Aouars and all these sorts of players. They've just completely gone off the radar, haven't they?
Yeah.
But they were all players we had to have, according to some people, and whatever the money was, pay it. And they've all pretty much disappeared off the radar, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since that summer, Elway's fallen off a cliff in terms of what his performances in the knee have gone.
Yeah.
So that's another one we actually does. So that's the one positive I say. And everyone's giving Mari a hard time and all that. It wasn't that bad for us. One bad game. And how long?
I think the thing with Mari was he never got a run in the side, did he?
No.
You know, you look at the back four now, they play together game after game after game, whereas, you know, Mari was in and out. Same with Holding.
Yep.
Chambers to a degree. You know, I'm sure you'd have got a tune out of Chambers as, you know, in defensive midfield. You could want to go that route, but obviously not.
He didn't even try it though, Arteta. That's the thing. That's the frustrating thing. He never get, as you say, never gave him a chance. And then things like the Chambers in as a DM this month, he didn't even try it.
Yeah.
But here we are, though. We're all sitting here waiting for something to happen, aren't we? Really?
Yeah, but it's this is what it's like on transfer deadline day, isn't it, mate? It's like anything could happen any time. Well, I just got a horrible feeling that nothing's going to happen at all, and because I mean, you normally have Charles Watts, David Ornstein, you know, tweeting regularly that something's happened, but it's just nothing, is there?
Perhaps we should all just go to bed, and then when we wake up in the morning, we'll see all these signings with their shirts on. And you think, you know, climbing. But there's literally nothing, is there? There's no names, there's no rumours, there's nothing at all.
Only Arsenal give away for free one of the best goal scorers in European football. This is your process, says Rich.
Yeah, not for 2 years. He's not been.
He hasn't been one of the best goal scorers in European football for 2 years now.
Yeah, so but we had him for a good 2 years, and he won us some silverware, so you can't knock that, can you? He'll always go down as you know, one of our better signings.
It's just the way it's all ended, isn't it? That's the bitter taste in the mouth.
Well, he'd obviously switched off, or he wouldn't play Arteta's tune, whatever it was, whatever's gone on. He'd basically given up on the club, hadn't he, really?
Liverpool signed someone from Fulham for Carvalho.
Oh, he's a good player. He's only young.
5-year contract. Medical ongoing in order to sign the paperwork before deadline day. Carvalho has accepted all clauses into the contract. The race against time now to get it over the line. He'll also stay at Fulham till the end of the season.
He's a good player.
We were in for him a couple of years back, weren't we?
Yeah, I think we were actually. Yeah, when they came up.
Was he at Porto? Or Benfica? Something like that.
Thinking of William Carvalho.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, he's a young kid.
Yeah, he's a youngster. He's obviously it's really far too early to say, but he's, you know what people are like. They're saying he's like the long-term successor at the back to Virgil van Dijk. You know, because
they're all long-term successors, aren't they?
Someone's just tweeting out. Sold Uber for free, and we're paying some of his wages now. Edu is finished. I don't know that myself, but okay.
Just say welcome to George, who's just joined us. Georgie boy, how are you, mate?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks for joining us, mate.
No worries.
So while I was away, I was just reading that Julian Draxler has been seen at Heathrow.
I thought he was Jan.
Is he on the same plane as Benzema? Is he?
Did any of you guys see the Adama Traore transfer?
Yeah,
what I read a few days ago was that he was offered 120,000 a week to go and play for Tottenham, but he decided to go to Barcelona for 15,000 a week.
Until the end of the season. And if they achieve certain objectives,
sorry, was that Barcelona paying him, or he's paying Barcelona?
Yeah, well,
I'd rather
I mean,
go.
It's true. He snubbed Spurs and gone there for a lot lower money. He'd rather
yeah, but they
pay
got
that.
snubbed by a non-league player, didn't they?
Yeah,
as
Ollie
well.
Tanner.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Anyway, George, introduce yourself to everyone else, mate. And
so,
let people know where they can find you and about your podcast and stuff.
Cool. So obviously I'm George. Go Arsenal quite a lot. I think is it Ryan's on here? I know him.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I met you at Wembley, didn't I? So
Yeah, for the Women's Cup final, yeah.
yeah, that was a bit shit.
I thought you were going to say Ryan was there signing autographs, glossy
Yeah,
pictures of himself.
Signed it in Braille. So yeah, obviously I do another thing called Sportsmania, which I've just started. So we've only just got our own YouTube channel. It's like me and a few other people can't see. So, so that's an official S-Mania. So just started that really.
Yeah, for those who are listening, obviously, like George just said, you're a blind gooner, aren't you, mate?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I try. I put up. I'm kind of glad I can't see some of the performances, especially the little.
Oh my joke! Oh my joke! I was just about to say that, mate.
So yeah, I went Nottingham and then I went Liverpool, and it was like how different a week is. Like I went to Nottingham and then obviously I went Liverpool away, and then I watched them at the Emirates, and I was like,
nightmare.
So,
I know.
bit bad.
Nightmare. Mate.
And then I've watched a bit of the deadline day today, or as we know it as Monday.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So far on, do you think we're going to get anyone in before the end?
I've heard Gunnosaurus is free. But apparently we signed someone. Apparently a defender from Colorado Rapids. So I don't know.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
what's
I
his
don't
name?
really. I know I'm clutching at straws there.
We've signed two MLS players, haven't we? We signed a goalkeeper and we signed him.
It just don't make sense to me. Like I've had this stuff on social media. Like I understand the players they've got rid of because they're not good enough, but we haven't got the squad to just go bam, bam, bam and not replace. Like we've got Lacazette and Nketiah. I'm like, Jesus Christ. That's all we've got. Aubameyang, I just didn't see any. There was no return for him, especially today. Apparently, Arsenal didn't even know he was in Spain. So, I suppose
It's very unprofessional. Yeah, I'm not happy about that. The fact that he just took it into. I know that what you said, Stan, and he took it into his own hands and blah blah. But that's just another one of the sort of reasons, really, why we got rid of the bloke. I mean, doing things like that just without any kind of permission.
Just no respect.
No respect at all. No respect at all. And he's so lucky that the deal went through because he would have been known forever as the newest Peter Odemwingie, like I said earlier. He's so lucky that the deal went through. Otherwise, his name would have been dirt and he would have been ridiculed for the rest of his career.
The only thing I didn't get was Maitland-Niles. Obviously, we let him go and we had no midfield. I still don't understand that.
I know. It's strange.
I don't claim to know loads
No,
more.
but I suppose with Maitland, he wasn't actually playing in midfield anyway, was he?
No, and he wanted to play in midfield. The first game he played for Roma was at right back.
Well, yeah. Go figure.
And people say about Arteta, like, because I've seen it on a Facebook, they say, Arteta's not bringing us forward. But Arteta said in the press conference in one of the games, we're looking at players. What else is he meant to do?
It's strange. It's a really strange one.
I think part of the process is to get rid of the players you don't want, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's obviously part of it.
I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
As the window ticks down now, and should we not bring anyone in, and if we don't reach our goals of getting into Europe in some shape or form by the end of the season, then these players that they think that they've got teed up for the summer, they're going to have to throw all that in the bin and start again. Because, as we've already mentioned, a lot of players aren't going to make that move if you haven't got the European competition. So we'll be in the market for players like Todd Cantwell and Danny Ings, and players that will probably help keep us mid-table rather than.
Todd Cantwell, I think, is going to Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth are in for Todd Cantwell.
And then what happens as well when some of our players like ESR and Saka, at some point they're going to have to have contracts renewed, right?
Yeah.
You know? And that's going to be really important that when that comes up, if we don't look like that we're any closer to where we are now, why would they stay?
The problem you got as well with the contracts, I was looking on Twitter today. So even next year, you've got people like Leno, Nelson, and there was a couple of others whose contract runs out. And then you've got Elneny at the end of the season, obviously Lacazette and Nketiah. There's about 7 or 8 players. We're lucky if you get about 30 million for any of those. So, and Martinelli and Saka have got 2 years left on their current deal.
Yeah.
If we're in a situation like this, you couldn't have a go at them if they said, "Oh no, we want to leave and better ourselves."
And realistically, you want to start negotiating with a player when they've got maybe 18 months left. That's when you should start your negotiation to cover yourself.
Yeah.
Well, the club said it 2 years. The club said we should be renegotiating at 2 years, didn't they? That's when Raul was here. He said, "Oh, we don't let players go into the last 2 years of their contract," or worse to that effect. So we should be negotiating now.
He was like the room. I thought Raul was back.
Well, there you go. You know,
I thought he was sitting next to me.
I'm so multi-talented now. I'm so multi-talented. It's unbelievable. But no, I'm really happy with that part of the window. Getting rid of all the players that we needed to get rid of. It's been fantastic. But
I would have probably kept Chambers instead of Cedric. That's my.
I would have kept Chambers. I would 100% kept Chambers. Cedric. But I'm glad that we've been ruthless in that respect and trimmed the squad down. But I mean, the fact that we've not brought anyone in is just honestly, it's so bad. It really is.
What annoys me is that we wasted time on the Fiorentina striker all that time, and we've got money. So why have they not gone? And there's players they could have grabbed. To be fair, apparently Aubameyang's completed. Just if anyone doesn't know.
Yeah.
Thanks for the memories, but goodbye.
No, it's like we said, George. I mean, what's your thoughts about him overall? About he's never going to. He's obviously left the club on that's permanent. Ripped up his contract to let him go. And what's your thoughts overall about his time at Arsenal and especially the way it's finished?
It's a bit like Ozil, a little bit for me. No, I don't think any of us are going to say Aubameyang. Like Aubameyang's gave us some great moments, like goals in cup finals and stuff like that, and when he had that really prolific season. But I just don't think him and Arteta have always had a problem, obviously. But I just don't think he fitted into his system. But then his discipline, like turning up late to the North London derby last season, I think that's when it all started, and it just don't really seem that respectful to me. And like doing what he's done today, I think it's the final nail in the coffin. But he used to be one of my favourite, but you can't have someone behaving around the club like that. Really, it was a bit like Ozil, to be honest.
I don't know if he's reading anything into it, but I'm on the Arsenal Twitter page. There's nothing pinned to their Twitter page.
Yeah, you're signing. You're playing them against Wolves, right? The new striker.
You're saying, Ryan, I've cleared a space and something's going to be pinned up as we speak. I've cleared like a little space aside for something.
Yeah, Alexander Isak's in Finsbury Park's McDonald's.
He's been seen in Sainsbury's buying Twiglets.
Yeah,
it'll be the new
Joe
shirt
Cole's
launch.
cousin.
It'll be the new shirt launch training kit for 2020.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it is, mate. That's what it is. The new Adidas retro range is going to be launched at 11:05.
Yeah,
What this window has taught me, though, is that if any missing person in London, just give that information to Arsenal Twitter because they'll find them quicker.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And police will.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
You cannot escape Arsenal Twitter. You cannot escape them.
Anyway, guys, I've got to sign off. The missus give me a shout. So hopefully my bet with Stan that we won't sign anybody in the next 28 minutes will fail and Stan will win. So that's my hope. But
it's looking good, is it?
It'll be Jack. He won.
There's Arsenal signed Thierry Henry, 1 minute to go, just to lose the bet.
Yeah, and it can't be any existing players. It can't be any signing of an existing player. Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure, and I'll have to catch you later.
Nice to meet
Cheers,
you.
Steve.
See you, mate.
Nice
Take
to
care.
see you again, mate. See you soon.
Yeah,
See you later,
absolutely.
Steve. Thank you.
Take care.
So what do you reckon? 1 minute to go. Jack Wilshere is revealed.
Yeah, I reckon so.
What
Welcome
was
back,
worrying me, I was watching the videos from they're in Dubai,
Jack. Yeah.
and I saw flipping Almunia talking to Ramsdale. I thought, no, what are you doing? Don't talk to him.
Exactly what I said earlier, mate, before you come on. I said, keep that guy away from Aaron Ramsdale.
Not him, Wilshere. I'm just waiting for Arshavin to turn up, or Andre Santos. Like, yeah.
Arsenal weren't that bad. He was mismanaged bad, dude, but he weren't that bad.
They should make him wear a face mask if he talks to any of our goalies.
Put
80 meters away from him as well.
I put earplugs in the people he's talking to as well.
They want him to catch dodgy goalie-itis off of him.
I can imagine, like, he's alright talking to Leno, because he could say, right, he's probably said to Leno, if I was you, mate, yeah, I would leave. And
Yeah.
you're not getting past Ramsdale, mate.
I don't want him giving Ramsdale the yips.
Mm.
No, I was watching one of the season reviews. What was it, 9-10 season? Where, but near the end of the season, basically, it was like Birmingham City away. We're 1-0 up. The tamest shot in the world comes in, and Almunia just pushes it up in the end. It goes in.
Yeah, sounds like him.
He was the most suspect goalkeeper, but somehow he maintained being our number one for what, 3-4 years before he got dropped.
Sky Sports are bantering Arsenal as well. They put it on like the main screen. Arsenal sign Austin Trusty from Colorado Rapids.
Yeah.
Is it that little toilet Cava, whatever his name is? I can't stand that guy.
Oh no, it was just on the side banner screen.
Oh.
It's funny, we've got a player called Trusty from Stan Kroenke's team that he owns.
Trusty the person.
Some irony in that, isn't there?
1 minute to go. The headline is Arsenal signed quarterback. You're like, what?
Arsenal signed Tom Brady after retirement.
Yeah. Well, we knew that we needed a winner, so we thought that we would bring Tom in.
What I find annoying because everyone bangs on, we had a great transfer in during the summer. Yeah, we did well, but for me, that's the first one we've had since they've been there, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a good tweet. I'm just going through my Twitter feed. It is a good one. Breaking: Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta is believed to have loaned himself out to Swindon Town for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, I see
Good,
that.
they can keep him.
Mertesaker's going to Bournemouth. And play Harry Clark. Yeah.
And Fulham have signed our tea lady, Doris, on a 6-month loan with an option to buy at the end.
I was looking at that because apparently there was talk that Nketiah could have gone today as well, and I thought, like, all right, you let him go. Who the hell are you actually going to play up front?
My nan.
Right. I'm not a great fan of Lacazette either, but I don't know.
Well, he's not been the same since he done his ankle. I was saying earlier, since he done his ankle a couple of years back, he's just come back and
Says here that Aubameyang has agreed to earn 100,000 euros a week for the next 6 months with Barca. So it's taken quite a
I
drop.
don't know how he's going to survive.
Yeah.
You can only buy 2 Ferraris now.
He'll have to drive a Porsche, poor lad.
Atletico made a signing. They've signed some kid from Lille in the last minute or so. I don't know who it is, but I'm just saying.
Pepe. Pepe's brother.
Yeah, we loaned him back and they bought him, yeah.
So it looks like we're going to have to literally keep every single player completely COVID-free, completely injury-free, and completely suspension-free for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, good chance of that. Arsenal don't get injuries at all or suspensions or COVID cases.
Well,
we have to play.
Just don't play Granit Xhaka, basically. Yeah, fine.
Russ Morgan started again, saying Ornstein has just tweeted that we've triggered Isaac's release clause.
Do I have to go and look again, Russ, or you want me to show you a picture?
I bet he hasn't. Like we were apparently in someone called Raul Thomas earlier, whoever he is.
Taking the piss, I think.
So it says here that yesterday Arsenal made a bid of £58 million, which is 69 million euros for Isak, but they want the full 90, which is 75.
75 and sterling, yeah. No,
so there's quite a way apart still.
Yeah.
1 minute to 11, the league will get a phone call.
I should dip into some of that Aubameyang money. I'm just reading that we've saved ourselves 29 million by moving him on.
Yeah. In the last minute, David Ornstein tweeted that Aston Villa turned down 3 bids for Douglas Luiz in the last week of January. Most recent on deadline day, so I won't say who from. Aston Villa want to secure the 23-year-old midfielder to a new contract. Man City got a buyback clause, did have a buyback clause, that's expired apparently. But still have a sell-on clause. So if they ever do sell him on, Man City get proportion out of that, basically.
Okay.
That's what.
So did Aubameyang terminate his contract, or did the club do it?
I think they're both. I think it just ripped up the contract, mate. Like
I think
mutual.
The club did. Well, down to it, yeah.
Yeah.
Mutual.
Arsenal was probably like, saying if you're not even in the country, mate, just stay there.
Yeah. Do not get back on that plane under any circumstances.
You pissed off for the last time. Stay there.
As soon as he stepped off the plane, they were on the headset to the pilot going, right, pull off.
Yeah, the Arsenal employee letting the tyres down on the plane.
It was like a military fucking thing. Literally, go.
Operation Aubameyang.
Yeah. Get him the fuck out of here. I'd like to know what exactly was the final nail in the coffin, because it can't just be due to lateness. He's clearly done something more than that.
I think that when he got dressed down for coming back late because he went to bring his mum home, I don't think that he responded well. They've had a go at him, and he turned around and said, "Yeah, up yours." You know, he's really kind of like locked horns with them. And then because it was like a day or 2 days after, they then stripped the captaincy. They probably went away and thought, well, that wasn't the reaction we were expecting. What do we do now? Fuck it, let's just strip him of the captaincy then.
Yeah. And you can't keep him at the club if you're not playing him, not on them wages. We've done that already.
Oh, that's what I'm happy about, the fact that it's not turned into another Ozil situation.
I tell you, this documentary is going to be we'll get a BAFTA for this, won't we?
Yeah.
Imagine you get top 4 with this team. Well, I don't think there's any chance in hell, but because the amount of injuries we get. But imagine.
I cannot believe that Everton have bought Dele
Alli. I want to see the director's cut. All the stuff that's not going to be going.
Has Ali gone to Everton?
Yeah. It's all but there's got to be
reported 40 million quid if certain triggers are met, but 40 million quid still. I mean, honestly, what
has been done for fraud?
Look in the background. We have an intruder. Leave that laundry basket alone. I see ya. I see everything.
You're a star now. You're an absolute star.
Oh, got your dirty socks.
I saw those disgusting Y fronts, Dad. We're stuck to the wall when she walked past.
As if she came and got them before they made a run for it.
That's better movement than Nketiah. And quicker. Apparently, we rejected 9 million bid yesterday from Nketiah from Newcastle.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
I honestly, I can only think, as far as that's concerned, that he's still not giving up hope that he's going to sign a new contract.
I think
apparently it was Nketiah said he wanted to leave it for free in the summer.
Yeah, that's what it's got to be, isn't it? You can sign a pre-contract now with a team in another league, right? Or just move out in the summer anyway. And
because he could have gone to Palace, couldn't he, in the summer, but he couldn't agree personal terms. So
we wanted 80k, didn't he? That's why.
Yeah,
doubled what he's getting now, right?
Yeah.
Crazy the amount of money.
At Crystal Palace, by the way. At Crystal Palace.
Someone asked a question earlier. I think it was in this chat box. I've been in a couple today, and they were saying like, do we get, or do you think fans from other clubs get as into player salaries like I do? And I was thinking about that, and I suppose, you know, back in the late 70s or early 80s, we didn't really talk about players' wages as such, you know. Right?
No, we didn't.
Now with social media, and who's that guy, Swiss Ramble? You can't really get away with it. It's now part of it. We've all become
got too
accountants.
much information, haven't we, mate? There's too much information available nowadays.
Yeah.
I lose the will to live when I hear that Kolasinac was on 110 grand a week at one time.
You're better off not knowing, aren't you?
Yeah, well, was it like Balogun? That was one who shocked me.
40 grand a week.
When we signed,
basically under 23s.
when we signed Dennis Bergkamp, I basically found out about it on the day. I was on holiday in Ibiza. We had our breakfast. The missus wanted to go into the shop in the hotel to get some oil or whatever. And I picked up a newspaper. To that one.
I just popped a disco biscuit and rubbed oil all over her.
I just picked up a paper. Back in the day, you always turned to that back page, didn't you, to see what's happening? And there was a picture of Dennis Bergkamp signed for Arsenal, right out of the blue. And there's a part of me that kind of liked it when it was like that, you know, back to the newspaper or, you know, CFAX was really got your information from.
Oh, definitely. A club call. Used to
The number.
Your parents used to get the bill and say, "What the hell's this?" Like 500 quid club call and on.
I've heard of it a bit before my time. That
used to get the numbers at the back of the paper, mate. And
but like, what it is for me,
transfer news, you have to ring this 0800 number or 0845 number or whatever it was. God, it used to cost about 15 quid a minute or something.
Yeah,
it's like with Wenger before, he had to find a player that no one had heard of. You could never do that now.
No.
And the thing is with those 0898 numbers for the Arsenal chat is you have to be careful because if you misdialed, you could end up getting through to Sweaty Betty.
Who's she play for?
Lady that
it's available now. That's fun.
Apparently, Liverpool have signed Carvalho for signing Carvalho from Fulham.
Yeah, he's come back out on loan for the rest of the season.
He's a good player.
West Ham put a combined £112 million bid in for Rafinha and Calvin Phillips. Jesus Christ!
This is what I'm saying. Our rivals are even trying to strengthen. They're trying to make moves. Where's the site? We'll try and make moves on one player, and then just sit in our asses the rest of the summer, the rest of the winter, and hope for the best.
Yeah. Right, we're meant to do it right. We were getting in the summer, but I can't see unless we get into the Champions League or even Europa League. Like who are we going to go for? We're going to go for the same players we've gone for in January.
Now it's literally if we have to get back into Europe, as in Europa League or Champions League, it's otherwise, as I think Andrew said earlier, the people looking at the planning to go for the summer now.
Yeah,
we won't be able to attract. We're struggling as it is.
Yeah, like Calvert-Lewin, we ain't going to get him now. You might as well give up with that. Like we could have got him if we acted quicker while the shit with Benitez was going on, but now Lampard's not going to let him go.
No way.
No, he's already said he ain't going nowhere.
Isak is still they're not going to budge on their release clause because that's what Spanish teams do. Like who else is it? Oh, what, they think we're getting Haaland? I know.
If we
might get Ivan Toney. I don't know.
I'd like Ivan Toney. We want to have a nose up at Ivan Toney.
No, he's probably the only one realistically.
I just cannot see anything happening now. It's just ridiculous. It's,
I feel.
25 minutes left. 25 minutes.
Yeah.
There's nothing to happen now. Unless Arshavin's broken the fax machine and there's a snowstorm somewhere or something.
Well, there's bound to have been some sniff on Twitter by now if we were going to go.
What really gets me, I feel like for me, I might be wrong, but because I'm a bit younger, like this is one of the worst transfer windows for me. Like, there's not even a reliable rumour.
No.
Like, no one's took Gunnosaurus out for dinner in Holloway Road or anything. Like, there's nothing.
It's
The meltdown
Apart
is
from-
starting. I'm looking at my timeline, man, and it's you know, like when before that main eruption of a volcano, you just start to get bits of lava splashing out. That's what's happening now on Twitter.
The only one I keep hearing is about Austin Trusty, whoever the fuck that is.
Oh,
God.
And Matt Turner, he sounds like a new character out of Emmerdale. Just like
Does actually.
Oh dear.
and you got Tottenham. Even Tottenham have brought a couple of people in. It's like, oh, right.
Yeah, from Juventus today. Yeah, one on loan with an option to buy, and one again another one on loan with an option to buy. But one's an 18-month and one's a 6-month loan.
Even Everton have bought better than us. But I'd take Donny van der Beek like that, especially in that level we've got.
Oh yeah.
so scenario.
Isn't it interesting that Dennis Bergkamp went to Vieira at Palace to try and get him to go to move him out of Manchester United? Didn't come to Arsenal.
That's calling in a serious favour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Favours, man.
Yeah, definitely. Like Gareth Houston on Twitter at Housty37 says scenario: Aubameyang hits form, bangs them in. Arsenal miss out on top 4 after a few injuries and lack of depth in squad. It's going to happen, isn't it? You know, it's I mean,
Apart from that, we're positive.
You just know.
The thing is, with Aubameyang, though, he could go and score goals in La Liga because, no disrespect, La Liga is a bit rubbish at the minute. Like,
you know that he's going to bang. You know, he's going to score on his debut.
Yeah.
He's going to have a good run, and people are just going to flip their lids, aren't they?
Yeah, but they've already technically some people already started because everyone was having a go at Aubameyang, and then as there's talk of him being sold on or gone now, they're like, "Oh, Arteta's ruined another player." Like, just stick to one opinion or not. It's a bit. I don't know. I think there's two sides to a story, but he will go and score goals with Barcelona. But people wanted him out of the club because he's caused trouble. So you can't have it both ways.
I know. No, I agree. I mean, the thing is now is like that people are talking about trying to make the best of it on Twitter as well, saying, would you rather see Martinelli or Smith Rowe / Pepe in the false 9 rather than Lacazette and Nketiah? I mean,
I'd give Pepe a go.
I would definitely give Pepe a go. Yeah.
He's been scoring for the Ivory Coast. I don't know how many he scored, but
he played well.
Yeah.
As a striker.
Then you can, if you take Lacazette out, you can kind of fit Smith Rowe and Odegaard in, but then I don't know if they don't seem to play as effective when they're in the same team. So
I don't know. They did have that good run playing together when we were banging them in.
Yeah, we have got 11 players that can play. It's just a shame. Well, we've got 11 and a half because Xhaka's half, isn't he? So because that's what frustrates me with Xhaka. He's such a liability, but he's a good player as well. So
now, like I said, if the only way we're going to get anywhere this season is if everyone stays fit, and it's just never. We're Arsenal.
Well, today they've promoted 4 of the under 23s into the 23-man Premier League squad. So I think that's
a lot of people seem to be praising Aubameyang, so sort of saying, you know, he didn't just sit here and eat the wages. You know, I remember him fondly. Huge applause to Aubameyang. So this seems to be getting good. Seems to be getting good cover for what he's done. We're on the other side of it. I keep seeing pictures of Edu holding up the champagne glass. One was a retweet of that, and someone just put, "You bastard."
Someone don't hit him with it.
Yeah, but people are forgetting that he just flew off to Barcelona on his own accord.
Yeah. Well, my thing is with Edu as well is that his job is head of recruitment, isn't it?
Yeah, director of football, but basically recruitment part of his job.
Yeah, like head of recruitment, and we ain't bought no one in January. And all I keep hearing is about there's pictures with Edu having a barbecue. I was like, all right, so you knock yourself out, mate. Eat your burgers.
There's a Stan was just saying there's a photo literally last week appeared out of nowhere of him having cheese and wine, ironically. and going, well, hey, like,
Oh, man's
I bet they weren't told to stay at home like the rest of us.
This is the other way of looking at it as well. Vic the Viking won. So under normal circumstances, we'd have signed someone and potentially paid way too much. Looks like we're now playing hardball, and I don't mind that, to be honest. Agents and other clubs have been fleecing us for way too long. That's the other way of looking at it, I suppose. Just saying, look,
Yeah.
we're not going to pay £90 million for Alexander Isak. You know, we're not going to pay this for that play, and yeah, just stick to the guns and stick to the trusty process.
The thing
He's
is,
back
though,
next season, trusty.
Yeah, sorry. The thing is, though, with Isaac, we could have got Isaac in summer before he signed his contract extension, putting that release clause in.
Yeah.
We could have had Isaac for less than what we offered.
But at that point, we didn't know what was going to happen with Aubameyang, did we?
No, and this is the problem. The Aubameyang situation's changed everything, really.
Yeah.
We could have given the time to sort of cut, even if you spent a lot of money, but you've given the time. You'd have had the time then to sort of bed him in and get him used to the league over the last few months. And obviously, if Aubameyang had gone the way it's gone, and obviously Laka and we've got Eddie, at least you've got someone else that's also played alongside Odegaard and arguably had the best time of his life with Odegaard and behind him. You could have got a tune out of him that way by now.
I don't know why they didn't go for Jovetic at Madrid on loan. Sorry. They're like, he ain't really playing, is it? Like, there's players we could have got. Like, one thing I am glad, I had Morata was linked, and I thought, God, no.
Oh, God, no.
I was like, no.
I thought I'd rather play up front, and I can't see nothing.
I don't want any more Chelsea rejects.
No, who's next? Oscar. Oh, dear.
God.
I'm just like, no. It depends on where you look at it. Like half glass empty, half full, doesn't it? Like, we're not going out and doing stupid stuff, but because recruitment-wise, we ain't been that great over the last few years, have we? Like, and this, I just don't trust our ball. That's the hard thing. Like, they done well in the summer, but apart from that, that's what I struggle with. Because like Pepe, 72 million, like.
Yeah.
You look at that now and you think, well, we were well ripped off.
Well, there's more to it, wasn't there? Of
yeah.
These little back payments and all that. But yes.
Hard thing you've got to take that. We ain't even been able to do a panic buy either today.
We could have done, but they didn't. They decided not to do the release clause by the looks of it.
Yeah. Apparently, there was a couple of players we could have got on a release clause today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness. Is that the bet safe though?
Yeah, well, people are saying there's still like, there's so many different opinions on when you're scrolling through. People saying no way is Aubameyang going without replacement. It's got to be.
I think you'll find he has.
I know exactly. People are going to be so. It's going to be the proper meltdown tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, I look forward to a weekly Arsenal Twitter meltdown. It's good.
Someone tweeting it. All I know is that Arsenal must refund all the data I used to watch Vlahovic, Isak, Arthur Neves, Danilo, Bruno compilations.
There's a Twitter page that has every player that Arsenal have been linked with, like in every window, and like this, and in this one we've been linked with 64 players.
God,
not bad, is it?
I thought it'd be more than that, to be honest with you. If I'm honest,
yeah, we only needed a couple this window. We've done the rest in the summer.
I'm actually really glad that owner stepped in and vetoed that Arthur deal for 18 months loan with an obligation. Why? I think they saved Arteta from himself there, or Edu, or whoever was making that deal.
Edu wanted it.
Terrible deal that was.
Edu wanted it. Connection, yeah.
Richard Garlick, by the sounds of it, he could be the only one that could have actually had any kind of veto on it.
Is he Brazilian, Arthur?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's Edu then.
Yeah, exactly. It was he agreed to the 18 months, Edu.
And an obligation to buy it. Like, you're seriously locked in there, aren't you? After 6 months, you're like, well, this guy's dog shit.
What are you going to do?
Remember Danny Ceballos?
I'm just coming across a tweet on Twitter, obviously. Flabby Hansky. Basically, it's basically Lacazette and Eddie Nketiah somewhere in Dubai when the clock strikes midnight on deadline day. And it's Paul Rudd where he's like, who would have thought we would be here? Not me. The hot sauce thing. I'll send it over to the group chat and you'll see what I mean. But that's basically taking the piss out of Arsenal again.
They're probably like, when they're like windows shut, they're probably like, thank fuck for that. Lacazette, like, I might get a couple more games now.
So I'm thinking, yes, I got the armband for a bit longer.
There's nothing happening. Nothing happening at all.
Todd Cantwell's gone to Bournemouth.
Permanently on loan.
Oh.
Yeah, with an option to buy. They had quite a good window, Bournemouth, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think Mike Berwick might get a promotion into the first team now? If we don't sign no one.
Who, sorry?
Mika Berwick.
Yeah, he's one of the players who's been promoted to the 23-man squad.
Yeah, I think he's going to have more time on the bench, isn't he?
Him, Murray Hutchinson, Salah. I can't say his other name.
Salah
and Charlie Patino.
Yeah. No, it'd be. I mean, that's the right thing to do in our situation, without question. But do you know? We've got 15 minutes left. Nothing's going to happen. Let's just have a look through choose some of your favourite tweets, the funniest tweets that are out there, either ragey or just funny. I'm going to just to finish off because this is going to be all we're going to be talking about in the next.
Here's one that I saw as well. Someone tweeted out, "Does this mean that Troops will be going on loan to Barcelona?"
Oh, hopefully it's permanent.
Yeah, there's no. It's got to be an obligation with that one.
I'll tell you a funny tweet I saw. It was Arsenal going to buy someone today. That was quite funny.
Yeah, what was it? Troops on his Instagrams, or literally within minutes of Aubameyang, the news going that he's left basically permanently.
Yeah, I would have said buy one get one free.
You're a great guy and all that crap. Was like,
Someone tweeted out, been told that Josh Kroenke has just arrived at London Colney, and someone underneath responded, he probably just forgot to turn the coffee machine off in his office.
He's probably going on loan to Bolton or something.
Yeah, definitely.
The Bolton, they can have him. Derby, actually, Derby, you need owners, Derby. The Kroenke's other people.
Yeah, they have our owners.
They won't do you wrong.
Let's just hope they lose the Super Bowl, then we'll be all right.
Alex Collins put. Imagine the scenes when it's quite funny. Imagine the scenes when Aubameyang's saved salary scores the goal to get us top four.
Someone's put a tweet on there and says, "Imagine the scenes in the North London derby when deadline day signing Jack Wilshere scores the winner in the 90th minute."
There's a picture here, right? It's a picture of David Brent sat next to the other guy from The Office, the skinny, was his name? There's Gareth.
Blonde, Gareth or something.
Yeah. And it says Arsenal admin at 1 minute past 11, and David Brent saying, "Go and get the retro kits."
Yeah.
Newcastle signed Dan Burn. It's a weird one.
That's a good signing for 12 million. He's a good player.
I think Matt Targett might have gone to Newcastle as well.
Yeah, he has. That's confirmed.
Yeah. On loan during the season, yeah.
Then no one think I'd had money.
No, because he's going to play in his proper position at centre back. He's a left-footed centre back, Dan Burn.
Yeah.
For 12 million quid, that's a really, because obviously Premier League ready. He plays week in, week out in the Premier League.
One I feel sorry for is Lingard. Like Lingard must be like, he's like that, that someone who's just about to be let out of prison or something, and then no, you go back in, you go.
Yeah, they took the piss out of Newcastle because obviously it was between him and West Ham, and Man United went to him and said, "Oh yeah, you can have him on loan, but you've got to pay all his wages, all this, all that. You'll cover everything financially for the next 6 months."
It might have been before the police asked for an extra bit of time with Mason.
Let's not go to that one.
Hold on, stay there. Hold on, you can't go yet, Jesse.
Someone's put, like it or not, but saving £29 million in wages of an out-of-form, over 30-year-old player is bloody good business. And as a bonus, we get no more Willie. And it's replied, I agree, but it isn't good business not to replace him with a proven striker this window when we're trying to cement a top 4-6 finish and need goals as it's drier than the Sahara up top. Can't argue with either points, really, can you? Both true.
Yeah.
It just leaves us very bare up there. Like, I think I was reading, is it Nketiah and Lacazette between them have scored 2 Premier League goals?
Yeah.
So obviously they're really hot on goal scoring. So.
A departing song for Alba by Crowded House. Everywhere you go, always take AFTV with you.
If we're that lucky.
Take a whole lot of them, yeah. And don't come back. Make it Barca FC TV. You can deal with the Barca. Fucking Catalonians have fun with them. Bloody hell. They think we're bad. Jesus Christ.
Sheila Guna said, I've seen some fans suggest that Aubameyang has been working towards a move of his dream of playing for Barcelona. So perhaps all along he's planned this. What does anyone else think? It would actually make me less sad about him going.
He's always said that he wanted to play there, wasn't it, for his grandma or granddad or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
If he didn't do what he done today, the way he done it, I would have been like, fair enough, whatever. Just one of those things that didn't work out. But just the disrespect he showed, he's like, all right, oh yeah, I'll just drive in my car, jump on a plane, and stand outside Barcelona.
But Adu couldn't get it done. What was the alternative? If he hadn't been as tenacious as that, he'd still be sat here.
He's still one of our employees. He didn't get our permission to go and do it.
No, you wouldn't go to work and say, hold on, I prefer that job that's in Italy. I'm going to just go on a plane and sit and see if they take me on.
Exactly, yeah. You've got to do it the right way. You've got to go down the right avenues, mate. You can't just go and take it into your own hands.
I know. I do agree with what you're saying, but I do like it. There's a little bit of it. I do like the balls of it. He wanted to make it happen. He's probably sat there. He didn't think Arsenal were getting it done quick enough, and he's made it happen. And I think we're better off for it.
Oh yeah.
You know, can't argue with that. But at the end of the day,
I think long term we are. Short term, maybe not as much because he's. I just mean like it's right letting these players go, but they are squad people. Like, say we go and get another 3 or 4 injuries, like we're screwed. So I don't know who they play unless we're trying to get the rest of the games called off.
It's just a shame that we don't get anything back on a 55-60 million pound investment.
Yeah.
That's what really sort of.
They might try and get all the rest of the games called off, so we've only got 12 players. And they'll be like, well, where's your COVID case? Well, we ain't got none. We've just got 12 players.
Haven't filled a rush goal.
We've got no more games this season. Yeah, because we can't fulfil the squad requirements.
And then we go and sign all these players, play the games in hand. So, oh, that's top 4. We'll have it. See you later.
Yeah, we need the extension on the window. Could you give us an extra month?
You're optimistic. I was saying 3 months.
There's a tweet gone out 28 minutes ago. Up your Arsenal. It's a picture of Edu from the other night.
The wine one.
Yeah. Where he looks like he's off his face. Maybe Edu was drunk and thinks deadline day is tomorrow.
Yeah,
Wouldn't be surprised.
He probably thinks it shuts at 12. Thinks he's got a good hour yet. I got a good hour yet, man. It's no panic.
Imagine he's like one of these people going to the shots. Don't shot at this time at night, does it? There's a picture apparently. Because someone described it to me, and it was so Arsenal and a representative out in Spain has heard that Aubameyang's gone to Barcelona, and the Arsenal representative standing at the window of the Espanyol shop and like just knocking and saying, "Is there anyone we can borrow for a week?"
Has Higuain's plane landed yet?
Nothing's happening, is it?
Yeah, another tweet in the last few seconds from Jason. Can't pronounce his actual ad, but yeah, Jason saying, "Congratulations at Arsenal for completing dry January."
Yeah, we have. Well done. I didn't think of it like that. Done well. Might use that one, to be fair.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually. Fair play.
It's probably the best thing I've heard to do with Arsenal today, so fair play. And obviously, Austin Trusty. Remember the name.
Yeah, trusting the process. Yeah.
It's not even Austin Trusty, it's Austin. I mean, it's just.
Yeah. It's like a dyslexic way of spelling Austin, isn't it? So
It is, yeah. Just look like a spelling mistake.
Yeah, that's like normally if I'm typing with my voiceover and think, oh yeah, shit, wrong letter.
We've got two. Art by Charlie's tweeted 2 keepers, 2 right backs, 2 left backs, 3 centre backs, 3 centre midfields, 2 advanced midfielders, 3 wingers, 2 strikers, plus 3 or 4 high potential youngsters for 17 games. On the face of it, doesn't read that bad.
No.
Like I said, absolutely, that's perfect. As long as we don't get any injuries, no COVID, no suspensions, nothing. You know, everything has got to go like clockwork for 17 games.
Just throw Xhaka into that, remember?
Exactly. So you cannot guarantee anything, can you? You probably get one of our strikers sent off, Xhaka would.
Leno's going to be up front. The North London derby or something.
So we've got 3 minutes left, boys. That's it. So we might as well start wrapping up here. Nothing to see here.
Yeah,
it's just unbelievable.
Breaking news: Arsenal trick. Just as you go off.
I bet you it will do and all. It goes on for about another hour afterwards, but you've got to have something in by now.
Arsenal triggered their buyout clause on Radio 5 Live for Chris Sutton, apparently.
Adam's tweeting out, breaking Edinburgh sold the Emirates and the training complex for a jet ski and a packet of Monster Munch.
He probably had to borrow the money out of our transfer fund for them Monster Munch as well.
London Cold has gone on loan to Watford next door because they want an extension.
It's finished. It's not happening.
Not happening, mate.
Talking about Watford, they've asked Man United if they can loan Dean Henderson, and Manchester United have said they'll let them know. What is it, like a WhatsApp message? It's been delivered, but no one's seen it.
If we don't get into Europe, right, we're fucked.
This will backfire.
We're fucked.
I think Arteta will be gone if we don't.
It don't matter how much money we'll have in the summer, how much they'll give us. We won't be able to bring in the right kind of players. We'll be getting what's left, the offcuts.
Yeah.
Mason Greenwood.
Oh God. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, we were on that subject, please.
Adam Johnson will be out on parole. He'll be on the wing. We need a fullback. Mendy. Yeah, go on, why not?
DT could be out early on good behaviour.
Oh, God.
I think I'd turn into a professional footballer if that happened. And play for the other team. I'll spear him or something.
Well,
it's looking good. Yeah. But hey, at
least we signed Trust on. Or Trusty.
Yeah.
Austin
Trusty.
I don't even know anything about him.
All during this like January, I've been keeping it all, in. People saying, "What do you think then, Stan?" I've been going, "Well, I'm not gonna lose my shit." And
he is
the
now.
window closes. So I'm about to lose my shit. Maybe right now, it's just turned. That's it. It's done. It's finished now. It's just turned 3 o'clock here in the afternoon. So that's it now. I think we're bollocks.
Yeah, it is now. The window is closed officially.
Yeah.
I think we're bollocks now.
Well done, Arsenal.
That's it. We now know what we're left with for the rest of the season, and I don't think it's enough.
No,
I'm actually. I was just so convinced that something was going to happen. I can't believe.
I thought they might at least bring one person in. Like I thought, I said we needed a striker and a midfielder. I've said that from when it first opened. Then we couldn't even. You got a flipping midfielder out in Dubai and Jack Wilshere, and they still didn't even buy him.
No, I know. It's just absolutely crazy. I'm a little bit gobsmacked, really. That it's ended this way. I mean,
I don't know who do you blame though. Do you blame? It's got to be the board, surely.
Well, the board have provided the money.
Yeah.
Right.
And they did have money because they put it on the Ravabit.
Edu hasn't. Edu's got. He's brilliant at getting players out for nothing.
Yeah.
But
give him a job in the pound shop, a charity shop, it'd be brilliant.
Oh, it's just ridiculous,
But
mate.
I don't even know. Like, I don't know if everyone's fans of Arteta here, but like he did say that we need players. Like, what? I assume he's just said to Edu and whoever else, "Oh, well, I want this one, that one," and they've said, "Yeah, leave it with us."
See, we're not that kind of club. When I also hear that Donny's going to Van der Beek's going to go to there, and this person's going to go. Bruno Guimaraes is going to go there. We're too polite to try and gazump a deal. That's our problem. We don't go. Oh, really? We could have some of that and try to.
Imagine Donny in that.
Do you know what? I thought that changed those Stan last summer when we got Partey right at the last minute, and we just went in and slapped it on the table, and they were absolutely fuming at Atletico Madrid, and we just go.
That's probably why we're banned from Spain.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought that was a bit of a change of personality as far as that was concerned, but it hasn't been that way, is it?
But even the summer just gone, I think they got away with that. Like, I don't think they thought buying people like Ramsdale, White, and Sambi and that would. I don't think they thought they was going to be as good as they have been. And I think they've got lucky with that.
Yeah.
Perhaps and it saved Edu's arse, really. Like, because no one would have thought Ramsdale would have done as good as he's doing, to be fair. Not from being with Bournemouth and Sheffield United. Because a lot of our fans was like, oh, what we bought him for? And all that. Tomiyasu has been good as well. And I just think, maybe we got a false sense of security. Like, we thought, oh, we've done this, now we're going to go and build. Like Josh Kroenke says, be excited. Yeah, I'm fucking ecstatic.
Yeah, but the main thing is we've got rid of all the players that we've got rid of weren't playing in the first team, which is fair enough.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But they were there to fall back on. We've got rid of so many players now. Our bench
is problem. We fall back. Who do we fall back on?
Yeah, our bench is going to look like a nursery school. It's like.
Don't tell Mendy that. We've got El Meni. We'll be
Honestly, I just hope to God we don't get like. What's going to happen if we get like COVID outbreak of 4 or 5, 6 players? I mean, we're going to have every single game.
We'll be like Burnley.
Honestly, I don't know where we're going to go with this. It's just going to.
Even now, I'm trying to think who would be. So we all probably know who our main 11 be. Who would you have on the bench? So it'd probably be Leno, Cedric, El Meni,
Pepe.
And that's it, isn't it?
Got Tavares.
Maybe he can play up front.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, it's a.
We're going to say all this, because whenever I slag a player off, they do well. So Lacazette's probably going to go and score now.
Plus, it also makes us quite predictable to our opposition now. They know exactly what we've got.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no variety, is there?
No. Well, to be fair, there wasn't before anyway. It's not as if he had a plan B, is it? But at least we had, different players to throw in for a bit of chaos factor.
If he'll play Martinelli through the middle and move and put someone else on the other wing.
I think he would have done that by now if he was going to do that, wouldn't he? But now he might be forced to if Lacazette ain't going to get through 90 minutes every single week.
I wonder what's happened to Reece Nelson. I keep forgetting he even plays for Arsenal.
Is that Feyenoord?
PSV.
PSV, so yeah.
PSV.
How's he doing?
He said he just broke into the first team the last few weeks.
And he managed fighting the manager against him, apparently. While we're here.
The manager's disappointed in his lack of end product.
We've got Miguel Aziz. Unless he's got that back on loan. I don't know.
No, we've still got him.
We brought him back from Pompey, didn't we?
Yeah. We're going to loan him out, but I don't think I've not seen that we have.
No, we haven't.
I think you can loan out to the lower leagues for another couple of weeks. Yeah.
Don't say that.
Yeah, we've still got a while, because I know Zach Swanson and one of the other youngsters was meant to be going out on loan today. Is it Ricketts? He was meant to be going out on loan today.
I don't know.
Oh, the guy up with AFCON duty. Yeah, he's gone out. Well, no, it fell through. Sorry.
Rickett.
Yeah, it fell through.
It's going to be a bit of a kick in the nuts, though, isn't it? Like, we're watching the championship and see Balogun just banging in goal. You think, one of us.
He started at the weekend, didn't he? Well, he didn't start at start. Then he came on and got straight away. Got involved in. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
United out the cup at the weekend, wasn't it?
Feyenoord, Alonso has just confirmed that Reece Nelson's at Feyenoord. Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to call it a day then, Nads, now. I'm going to...
Yeah, no worries. I don't blame you. Nothing else.
Cheers for having me on.
Thanks very much for coming on, mate. Yeah, so give your podcast another shout out before you go.
I will do. So we do it on Spotify and all that. It's just called the Sportsmania podcast. But also we've got the YouTube channel, which is just called Sportsmania. So there'll be more videos dropping in the next few weeks.
Fantastic. We'll go check it out. And thank you for coming on, mate. And thank you, Stan, and to you, Ryan, as well. And hopefully we'll see you again, Georgie. Next Tuesday as well, when you?
Yeah, definitely. I might have calmed down by then.
Exactly, yeah. But cheers, Stan. Great to see you again, pal.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Thanks for having me on, and nice to meet you, Georgie. And
nice to meet you too.
And to chat with Ryan as well. Hope you'll go have a good week.
Yes.
Nice to see you, Ryan.
So thanks to everyone watching as well. Everyone in the chat, been fantastic. Please give us a like before you go, and give us a share as well, so other people can actually get to know about the channel. Really much appreciated. So once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again very soon. Take care and goodbye.